Welcome back. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys didn't miss MSC Mekong Qualifier so much because, of course, we are back with more access. Going to be the playoff stages already. Still Burger Kim at your service together with GG, your shoutcasters, for the super awesome event. Yes, there will be six representatives from three countries: Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam, competing for a total prize pool of 10,000 US dollars, and of course, the prestige to be the representative in the MSC 2022, which will be happening in Kuala Lumpur this year. This tournament is organized by MSC Global in cooperation with the Vietnam Recreational and Electronic Sports Association, VNG Games, and Laos Esports Federation.
Yeah, talking about these amazing organizations that made it possible, VIRESA or Vietnam Recreational and Electronic Sports Association is the SEA Games 31st esports organizer in Vietnam. VNG Games is the Mobile Legends Bang Bang publisher in Vietnam, and Lao Esports Federation is responsible for Lao Big Esports events such as the 31st SEA Games Qualifier and other international events.
Yeah, speaking of the SEA Games, I'm actually so excited for the SEA Games, which will be happening this year. And of course, this tournament, MSC Mekong, is also considered as a pre SEA Games tournament. Esports at the 2021 Southeast Asian Games, which will be held, by the way, at the National Convention Center in Hanoi, Vietnam, from the 13th to the 22nd of May 2022. It's almost May. So it's really, really
Yeah.
exciting. We can feel the hype even here in the qualifiers. Mobile Legends Bang Bang will be one of the medal contested events in the 31st SEA Games. We're already done with the group stages, GG. That was before yesterday we had a break. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, for the past 2 days in this week, we had the best out of two round robin stages wherein we finally saw the top four teams or the four teams that will be qualified for the final stages that will be happening in these 3 days. Best out of three elimination, double elimination format for today, as well as a best out of five for the grand final. So you guys are going to be having a very, very exciting weekend this week. So you know who's the MSC 2022 representative for this region. And of course, I'm going to be expecting a lot of exciting games. I already saw our schedule today, Gigi. So they are going to be competing for a total of 10,000 US dollar prize.
Mm-hmm. 10,000 US dollar prize pool in which the champion will receive the 4,000 US dollars plus the MSC 2022 slot. Second placer will receive 2,500 USD. Third place, 1,500. Fourth place, 1,000 USD. And our fifth and sixth spot will receive $500 each. For today, we have two sets of games, which
Mhm.
is it's going to be a best of three as well. We have Team Vietnam versus Idonotsleep Prince, followed up by Nightmare Esports versus Idonotsleep Esports. And if we talk about their respective points, well, Team Vietnam has a whopping 6 points. They
Wow.
are undefeated during the group stages, followed up by uh,
Nightmare.
Nightmare Esports on Group A. And well, Katigang unfortunately will be eliminated or has been eliminated due to them not being able to secure the required points. For Group B standings, we have I Do Not Sleep Esports with the 4 points and I Do Not Sleep Prince with the 4 points as well. During the tiebreaker match, I Do Not Sleep Esports won against I Do Not Sleep Prince, and that led them to be being on the top
Mhm.
one of the respective Group B. Unfortunately for Next Play Esports, they did not get any points,
Mhm.
so they were the ones to be eliminated. And these are our top four:
Mhm.
Team Vietnam, Nightmare Esports, I Do Not Sleep Prince, and I Do Not Sleep Esports.
Wow, it is going to be a very explosive start of the playoffs. We've already kind of seen a glimpse of it during the group stages, GD. So I really don't know. Okay, I've seen the schedule for today. It's actually quite exciting, and a lot of teams will be playing. The top four teams, like what you mentioned, will be playing today. So I really can't say all of them have very consistent play styles. All of them also have their respective comfort picks. So I want to see it being put into play once again here in the Mekong qualifiers as we are heading closer and closer to our grand final stage. But of course, I know you guys have been waiting for this for the past few days. And yes, we will be having it
Mm-hmm.
today. Random codes will be generated all throughout the entire live stream. So keep your eyes peeled out for those codes. And the highest that we will be giving out is a level 8 tournament chest, which actually contains
Ooh.
1,099 diamonds. So it's going to be generated throughout this live stream. So you better stay tuned for all the games. I mean, you're just watching, you get to win awesome prizes, of course. Thank you again so much to our organizers, our partners who helped make this possible. This is IDNS Prince up against Team Vietnam for the very first game here in the playoffs bracket. Again, immediately, the Hilda will be the perfect or the first ban here for the side of IDNS Prince. This has been a consistent repeat ban from them, GG. For me, I think most of the teams don't like dealing with the Hilda. It's
Yeah.
so annoying in the early game. It can dish out plenty of damage, and not to mention you can't burst it,
Yep.
right?
And the rotations are always interrupted because of the
Sir,
Hilda pick. I
what's your
like
command?
how I Do Not Sleep Prince is respecting Joe's Fanny, which kind of annihilated their opponent during day number 1. And right now, I think both teams have made their good research among their opponents, and they're taking out one of the high priority heroes that they have also used to have a better chance in mixing up this draft.
I didn't
Yeah, it
hear.
is going to be quite interesting. The
hunt.
Fanny, which I mentioned that this region also, the entire Mekong is also a fan, huge fan of assassins. Like, I mean, I've casted for a couple of tournaments outside the region, and what their impression of the Philippines was like, okay, you guys use a lot of assassins, but it's actually the entire region of Mekong. They are very fond of the Ling, the Fanny, even the Lancelot. So I kind of understand, especially the Fanny. It's so difficult to deal with it, especially under the hands of
My
Joe. We've seen
pleasure.
it, and the Karina as well for IDNS Prince. This is a and I'm thinking for the side of Team Vietnam, there's a lot open right now for Nart to take. The Franco is open if they do secure it in the
Mhm.
first picking stage. And now, final ban here. What's it going to be for IDNS Prince? Yeah, they've used a Basha jungler. They've utilized a Valentina. I think for the most part, maybe an Eve could be taken out here since it seems to be a favorable pick as well
Yep.
for IDNS Prince. Vina has been utilizing this hero so well. So I think it could be a perhaps a mid laner ban here for the side of Team Vietnam.
Both teams have been
Ooh.
consistently
Still swords
using
run
the Eve, but they will ban out the Ling as well, respecting the rotation of this particular hero. Well, it
But the Grok is
can.
open.
So it's a high risk, high reward scenario. The Grok, yep,
Mhm.
open. It will be taken here for. It can
IDNS
be
Prince.
ITNS Prince locking it
I'm
in.
thinking there's going to be a huge contest for the Franco here. I mean, I'm not so sure what type. Yeah, there you go. I was talking about the Franco because both IDNS Prince and Vietnam they love this Franco. Kamui as well as Nart loves this Franco very much. And the first pick here of IDNS Prince, they get the Grok, but of course Team Vietnam gets two of their comfort picks as well. So this is quite interesting. The Franco and the Wan. These are pretty good picks, but ooh, I am loving this if ever IDNS Prince brings this out.
Lineup.
Oh, tank lineup. And by the way, the Johnson has been buffed up quite well. It
Mhm.
has been buffed up. It can be utilized as an XP laner. And at the same time, it can kind of engage. Like it has a huge, it can give the team huge vision, right? With the Johnson, it goes around the map, checks the bushes. And I think it has that surprise element every time it lands. So I think it could push through here for Idenus Prince. Could be a Romer Johnson, could be a side laner, could also be a jungler. So let's see how it will pan out for Idenus Prince. Will this be the final pick? If ever it is, there is a lot of possible combos, GG. The Johnson, then you bring in the Paquito in as well. But of course, we
Saviors.
completely forgot about this, the Savior, right?
Mhm.
The Savior here for Idenus Prince. The Eve is still up for grabs here for both teams if they want to get it. But in terms of the range, though, with the Savior, you kind of want to go for an Eve would be great, but it is going to be
Savior,
hard to.
the Sicilian also open
Sicilian is
here
also open.
for both teams, and I like how both of these teams are countering each other. You know, Idonotsleep Prince taking away the Grok of Hehe, and them
Mhm.
taking the Franco away from Kamui as well. So they're trying to limit the options here of their opponents while getting some for their own. With the first three picks here
Next,
of
we're gonna have
Idonotsleep
a
Prince,
tea
they have
show.
immense
Just like
frontline power,
that.
especially because of the Grok and the Paquito as well, with good long range access as well because of the Savior. But in Vietnam, increasing their damage with the 1-1, with the Lilia, and now with the Franco, setups can be made. And even if Idonosley Prince has a solid front line, if they can get through to the back line, it will not be a problem for Team Vietnam.
Yeah, they already secured in the gold laner here. Oh, so it's going to be Sunflower. I'm feeling that this is a Sunflower here, the Paquito here. So again, could be pretty much a flex pick, could be a jungler. It will depend on the final two picks here of Vietnam. Both teams still don't have junglers. So maybe, just maybe, they take out all the junglers here, the Lancelot, the Hayabusa, all of those assassins taken out. But an additional crowd control team Vietnam. There is no Fanny, so pretty much a Kufer can set things up so well. So Team Vietnam takes that out. And for IDNS Prince, Joe's heroes perhaps could be the target here. Joe has a lot of heroes under his belt, so I think it could be another, perhaps like an assassin band coming through, or maybe even a side laner band here
Mhm.
for the side of IDNS
The night
Prince.
sky
We're not going to be
tells
There
it
you go.
seeing
all.
Sherry as well on the side of Team Vietnam. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be Miao Ami playing
Mm-hmm.
as their respective marksman player or gold laner.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on
Yeah.
where they want to go. Because I didn't sleep Prince. Well, they are retaining their usual members. It's not Yusei who is playing. It's Avina with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of success as well. They had a pretty fantastic performance when
Mm-hmm.
Venus was the one playing. And with this draft, I think it's gonna suit them so well because of how high the synergy the team had actually during their game when they got their wins against their opponent. And Team Vietnam, they are really scary as of the moment. They have no defeat at all
Mm-hmm.
during the group stages, and they're looking so strong right now with the draft that they're making. Looking at the bands, Esmeralda, the Lancelot, the Phobius, and
And
the
the Phobius
Kufra,
and the
we do see the amount of respect these both teams are giving, especially for the side here of Team Vietnam, removing all those additional front lines that can be a problem here for Team Vietnam because the Grok may not be a roaming support. It can go to the XP
yeah,
lane or
it's
even gold lane.
yeah, but I think it might be idling. I was kind of thinking like maybe like okay, when Vietnam banned out the Phovius, I was thinking that Team Vietnam was gonna go for the Lancelot. And yeah, IDNS Prince kind of read that. They took out the Lancelot, opening up the Hellcurt
Oh,
here, Dark Knight Falls here. So assassinations that for Vietnam, and not to mention they got a scaling hero here already, the Wan Wan. So now IDNS Prince kind of has to have that. They sort of have that with the Savior, but now what's it going to be for S1? They might just go for once again those solid sides and then rely on Vina for those type of heroes that scales up. They kind of do that frequently, and this might actually still be the playstyle that they're going for. Yeah, the Yuzong here to reach the back lines. It's also quite tanky. They also got the Grok, so this is pretty
mhm.
much IDNS classic IDNS Prince. They go for the sustainable type of heroes. Wait for their power spike, then go for the engage. It's going to be.
Time
I
to
think
hide
it
with
should be the
Oh,
Beatrix
precision.
pick here. I mean, Beatrix. If you're gonna be picking between the Beatrix and Clint to go up against the
I go for
one
the
one,
Beatrix.
I would definitely go for the Beatrix. I mean, it's so difficult already to deal with the 1-1. Has been buffed up quite well to be able to pop in that ultimate really fast. But now it's actually quite scary here for Vietnam, especially since this is a 1-1 with an
Mhm.
Inspire. So I mean, in terms of scaling, I do have to give it to the 1-1, but let's not kind of discredit what the Beatrix has in its toolkit. But it is going to be vital here for Vietnam to pressure in the gold laner as well as the mid laner here for IDNS Prince. A Belleric pick coming through here for Team Vietnam. I think this is the first time I've seen it. Like one of the few games I've seen of Belleric being put into play, and this is going to be a side, definitely a side lane Belleric.
Mhm. And I like how Idonosley Prince are going to their foundations. Well, S1 had a decent performance with the Paquito jungle, and I think they have a good amount of early game to late
Mhm.
game scaling as well. to match the draft here of Team Vietnam, because the 1-1 is gonna be scary later on. We saw during day number 1, day number 2, some flying 1-1s, and it definitely shook the minds of the respective
Yeah.
enemy team that they are facing. And scaling is gonna be key here. Team
Mhm.
Vietnam, they really like to scale it up while staying aggressive during the early game.
Yeah, this is the kind of one wherein it doesn't even purchase the boots anymore. It just goes straight for the items, goes for the corrosion side, goes for the DHS, so that it can dish out so much damage. So I think in terms of the current patch, I think the one has been pretty much a favorable pick here for most of the teams. It scales up well, and not to mention it is very nice when there are team fights. It seems like this might be a very team fight eccentric pick coming in from Team Vietnam. This is what we've seen from them. And for IDNS Prince, they kind of want to have that solid, okay, Vina dishes out the damage, Sunflower dishes the damage. But I think this is the first time I've seen IDNS Prince play out the Beatrix or something more on the scaling type. Because most of the time I remember Sunflower. Most of the time she picks up the mostly the
Like
Papito, mostly
fighters, right?
the fighter side lane. So I think
Uh-huh.
this is one of the first time I've seen IDNS Prince pick up a marksman on their goal.
Well, there was a time that Sunflower actually picked up Beatrix, but it's only just one
Just
game
like one
during game
game,
number 2.
yeah.
Yep, but it's mostly fond of using these fighters, so it's I do get the surprise there, but I think in this draft that they do have, they would be able to match the aggression here of Team
Mhm.
Vietnam. It's gonna be up to Joe, because well, the
Yeah.
health crit can burst a lot of damage, and as we see on the bottom of the screen, this is what you have been
There you
waiting
go.
for: the code, as well as the hook coming in here by Nart, try to disrupt S1, but
Ooh,
it's
Dark
not
Knight
gonna be that much of
Falls!
a problem. But the
Oh
death
dear.
though will be given onto S1. Team Vietnam with the first blood, 1.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this is what I mentioned about the team fight eccentric composition of Vietnam. It is kind of working very well for them. The perfect timing by Joe on that Dark Knight Falls gets a kill onto S1 at that. So this is kind of pretty much Team Vietnam already on the aggressive side. They can definitely do that. They got a Franco, they got a Lilia. Don't forget to check out the giveaway codes, guys. It's flashed in the bottom of the screen. Yes, we will be having a tournament. The highest tournament chest is going to be a level 8 tournament chest. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to screen cap. Make sure to put in those codes to be able to redeem it. And right now, it's going to be the turtle dance here for both IDNS Prince and Team Vietnam.
Joe is a little bit too late into the fight, so
Oh
S1
dear.
will secure it. Meow though will get taken down by the dawning light of Vina. While the fight is continuing on, Joe needs to back away. It's being piled here by 3, only to get taken down. 2-for-1 trade in exchange, plus a turtle here by Idonotsleep Prince. So this is looking a little bit good for them, while Team Vietnam still has that gold lead, a little over 200. Idonotsleep Prince not really trailing off that much behind.
Yeah, it's pretty much a good kind of answer coming in from IDNS Prince. A little bit too early on the Wrath of Dryad from Meow X Amy. But it was, again, IDNS Prince. Fortunately enough, with the wild card, they were able to secure in that turtle. 2-2 is our score, and the goal lead is still pretty much not that far. 70 seconds before the next Lord, and I think our junglers are going to be taking in the resources that they need. But on the bot side, Hehe takes down Kamui, and now Joe
Oh
goes for
no.
the Dark Knight Falls, goes in possibly under the tower.
Yeah.
But it is going to be a tower hug here for Sunflower, and fortunately enough, she is able to survive that onslaught. But still, it is not over. Look at the pressure. Look at what Nard is doing. Even one hook is enough to kind of shake things up here for IDNS Prince.
Sunflower do doing a really good job shoving them back with the abilities of Beatrix, Meow, Ami. Might lose to that 1v1 duel, and Sunday will say yay to
Mhm.
that 1v1 win.
Yeah, kind of like a well, Yuzong is kind of like the king of lifesteal. Even if you're going up as someone as tanky as a Belleric, it is not gonna. I mean, it can sustain the lane, right? It can sustain the lane, but it can't dish out that much damage. It has been buffed up, yes,
Ooh!
but pretty much the Yuzong. Nice hook there coming in by Nard, but here comes the save though. It's back up against Team Vietnam.
Yeah, I
Four
did
three
not
is our
expect
score.
many people were there.
Mhm.
And as Idonotsleep Prince are trying to start this turtle with numbers advantage, they should be able to take this. But Joe is still trying to position himself to try and steal. Unfortunately, Kamui is there to stop him from doing so, and he even tries to steal out of that jungle camp. Quite unfortunate there for Joe.
Yeah, here's the thing about the Hellcurt. You can kind of put out the lights with the Dark Knight Falls, then get in the objectives. But at the same time, it kind of has to be calculated here, right? You go in for the Dark Knight Falls, perhaps get in some pickoffs, but here comes Team Vietnam, a three-man rotation here on the gold lane. Seems to be a lot of pressure here onto Sunflower. They definitely want to make Hehe win this lane so much pressure. Whereas Meow and Sunday Ye is just having a sweet time there on the bot side, sustaining it. And then most of the time, it is just IDNS Prince and Team Vietnam just doing a lot of clashes there on the top lane.
Yeah, it's top lane priority for
Mm-hmm.
both teams. Well, more so in particular to Team Vietnam, as they're trying to really shut down Sunflower. Kamui is doing a really
Sunflower.
good job though, and look at the wall
Ooh.
placement into that burst of Sunflower. Merely gotten someone out of that, but I think this is a
Bloody
proper
Hunt.
setup by Team Vietnam. Now he goes in flying. Is happy right now, taking the kill on that Grok. He will not get a second, but he's starting to become very scary with the damage he's dealing.
Yeah, it was kind of smart
Ooh.
though for Team Vietnam to secure that frag. And speaking of Nart and Joe, takes down Vina at that with no
Ooh.
contest at all, but it is going to be a killing spree again for Team Vietnam. The constant pressure that they are doing up against IDNS Prince here on the gold lane is just so on point. Hehe is already on a killing spree, as Sunflower is just really not having the best time. 3-0-0 on this 1-1. What more if it reaches like perhaps like the 15-minute mark? It is going to be really deadly, not to mention the 2K lead that Team Vietnam has. They get in the tower on the top side, which means they are going to have a better positioning here to take this second or this third turtle of the game uncontested. Wild charge on two. There is a bounce back
Oh
again.
no.
Hehe is flying. There's no escape at that. Still, not enough damage. You can kind of already see 1-1. It's going to be crucial here for Team Vietnam to make Hehehe win the lane. And it's actually working right now. Working very well for them.
Oh, I hope it's not gonna be connect, but like, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. This draft of and strategy of Team Vietnam is so far very much working against Idonotsleep Prince. At most, the only lane they are kind of losing is bot lane, but well, Belleric doesn't really need to win lane. His primary goal is to become that
The
tank.
tanky one.
Yep,
Yeah, the
that
tanky one to
distracts everyone.
sustain the lane. And this is
Yeah.
kind of wise for Team Vietnam. They already won the top side and now they want to take in this tower on the bot side. Bloody hunt there by Nart, and now Kamui gets blasted
Ooh.
with those glooms coming in from Gangshin. They win the lane on the top side, they win the lane on the bot side, and now another skirmish is about to break off. Meow x Amy tanking in all the damage, as Sunday Ye as well has so much lifesteal, but ultimately bursted down there by Cho again. Hey, has another plan there onto the backside, gets a triple kill as they wipe out the entire IDNS Prince team, and they take in this mid-side tower as well.
Oh, that was unfortunate. I think that was S1 or Sunday that tried to help out Sunflower, but the procs were there, the vitals were there, and
Oh
Hes
god, they are
just went
relentless.
flying. Yep, they are relentless. They are unstoppable at this point. 7,000 gold lead, and inhibitor in the mid lane is now down for IDNS Prince.
Yep, a mid-side tower. That is quite the feat here for Team Vietnam.
Oh my. Team Vietnam looking so strong right now, and Hehe is pretty much untouchable at this point. 8-0.
Right. 0-0 on this 1-1 with the Inspire. I was kind of saying, like, how can she pop that ultimate so fast? You know, you just go in every clash, you pop in that Inspire, and then you get in the kill onto 3. I believe Hey already has secured the Demon Hunter sword, the Corrosion side, and now with those onslaught lane after lane, it is going to be Team Vietnam trying to get in this first Lord, and now it is going to be Idonis Prince trying to contest, but I think with the map control, it's going to Team Vietnam. Here comes another redeem code. Make sure you guys take a screen cap because this is a lot of tournament chests
And the
for you
hook.
to enjoy, as well as the hook coming in from Nart, successfully evading it with the flicker there. Black Shoes being popped in by Gangshin. 9-minute mark, 14-4 is our score in favor, of course, of Team Vietnam. They also got a lord that's now marching in our middle lane. And now with the constant pressure here of Team Vietnam on all of the lanes, it kind of counters out what IDNS Prince wants, right? They kind of want to sustain in their lanes. That's why they get in the fighters. They get in those sustainable side laners. But right now, it is not working well for them. Hehe already securing that malefic roar. So every time she pops in that ultimate, the crossbow of Kang, she is going to be flying and dishing out so much damage.
And he deals a lot of damage to the turrets as well. Bottom lane inhibitor now fallen on the top lane. Inhibitor tower is standing, but not for so long. Joe pops out the ult and sends S1 into a disastrous
Oh
graveyard.
dear.
And Team Vietnam looking for more. They even got a kill here onto Kamui. So only
Oh, flicker
three
hook!
members remaining alive. But they're not done just yet. Sunday with a desperation play trying to tank in the front line along with Bina. Dawning Light though will send them back to base. As Team Vietnam looks to fall back for the meantime, they're happy with what they have right now. That's 3 inhibitors taken out.
Yeah, finally the shutdown onto Hehe is kind of like very annoying already. It's a good call that Vina was able to pop in that dawning light at that very exact angle,
Mm-hmm.
taking down Hehe. This is what you like. You are a savior. You can kind of reach everyone from all over the map. And speaking of reaching, don't forget, guys, to get that redeem code. Make sure to take a screen cap. We are giving out a lot of tournament chests today. The highest one is going to be a level 8 tournament chest. So be sure to grab those codes and redeem it right now. But now, what IDNS Prince wants is just to control. I think for the most part here for Team Vietnam, they have to take care of Hehe. The other heroes here are pretty much easy to deal with. Joe,
Ooh.
even Gangshin. You can kind of control Gangshin. But Hehe, right after she pops in that ultimate, it is so difficult to win in clashes.
It is very much difficult to win clashes, win the side lanes. Even
Here
right
comes
now, they're
Hehe.
gonna lose Kamui, and they might even lose more. Joe is in the base right now, along with 4 people from Idonotsleep Prince, and he doesn't care at all. He has
Oh dear.
his allies right now as Meow is gonna initiate for the team, but the follow-up is not really that much good
There
as of the
is a
moment.
lot of minion waves. There
There
is
is
a lot
long.
of minion waves. Yeah, if they push out a team fight so well, I think this could be the end here for IDNS Prince. They are locking in the tower. There is a lot of minions, and I think it is going to be Team Vietnam that appears in this first game with that one that just I didn't even notice it at first, but that's what I mentioned though. Team fight eccentric composition from Team Vietnam kind of counters out the sustain that IDNS Prince wants. So it's pretty much them winning the lanes up against IDNS Prince, and right after that it was just so easy.
Mhm.
I think it's an 11-minute to 12-minute game, so pretty much a very fast game.
Yeah, that
GG.
one of the fastest so far right now because during day number 2 we kind of were bombarded by long games like 20, 24, 25 even on one of our games that we have seen in group B. Right now the teams are stepping it up a notch, especially for Team Vietnam securing the first win in this best
Hmm.
of 3 series. They only need to secure one more to put Idonotsleep Prince to the lower bracket. And in this post-match results, we can see that Gangshin put in a lot of work, but I wanna
Hmm.
highlight Nart as well because of those hooks, because of those ultis that he has made towards the crucial members here of Idonotsleep Prince. He kind of enabled the Hehe and Joe and even Gangshin to have the respective kills.
Yeah, the vision that Nar was given, especially the constant pressure that he was giving on the top side up against Sunflower, all the hooks, even though it didn't land like most of the time, but it was enough to give constant pressure up against Sunflower.
Mhm.
Therefore, it was just Hehe winning in all the lanes. That's why that Wanwan was just able to reach that power spike so early, making them win the series eventually. So I think like what I mentioned, it is a huge contest for the Franco. Not unless, let's just take out the Franco. Perhaps like it could be a Franco band coming in. Also, could be a one band coming through for these two teams in the next game. GG.
Might as well be. You gotta respect the pick potential here, or the threat that Team Vietnam are giving towards IDNS
Mm-hmm.
Prince. And we saw even during the drafting phase, the pick and bans, that they did also both of the teams made their respective respect bans towards their opponents. So my question is, what are they gonna be removing from those bans? Are they gonna be allowing something like the Fanny? Are they gonna be
Mm-hmm.
giving up the
Right.
Karina as well? Or at least let it be open? That's the crucial part, because game one usually
Exactly.
is the testing of the water, and if you don't get a proper result, in here it's not a best of five, it's not a best of
Mm-hmm.
seven, it's only a best of three. You only have one more chance to put this to a game number three, to a match point. And Idonotsleep Prince, well, they had an experience before, where in during the group B they had a strong start,
Mm-hmm.
and then they kind of fell off. I think they should be a
Right.
little bit more consistent right now in a positive way to try and match Team Vietnam.
Yeah, I think in terms of the unique hero picks, it is going to be favoring Team Vietnam a little bit. I'm not saying that there is not a lot of heroes that IDNS Prince can choose from. I think IDNS Prince is quite creative when it comes to picking their heroes in the sides, but I'm not so sure what else they can put out. Perhaps they have some more tricks under their sleeve. I feel like they have a lot more heroes to put out. But I think right now it is going to be crucial to get the sunflower to lane, because it seems like, yeah, they have won their sides, yes, with the sustainable sides, but now if you are going up against Sherry in the gold lane, Sherry has a lot of these high power spike, high burst heroes like the Claude. We've seen Sherry pick up the Claude, or even I think Hey picking up the Claude, the Wan, and even the Nathan as well. So I think in terms of unique hero picks, it is going to favor a little bit on Team Vietnam, but I'm still kind of looking forward to see what Idealist Prince will bring out. They are quite creative when it comes to their choices of heroes as well.
Mhm. They are definitely creative. Well, both of the teams are. That's why we have a huge respect for them. They definitely qualified quite well towards this final stage of the Mekong Qualifier. What I want to see though on the side of Iden's Prince, since they are the ones with the back against the wall, is maybe a little bit of polishing on their
Mm-hmm.
usual picks as well, and on getting their strong points. Because yeah, Sunday picked up the Yuzong a while ago, but we didn't. He won the lane actually, which is a good job by him. But we didn't see that much rotation coming in from him. And if we look at Sunflower picking up the Beatrix, it's kind. Yeah, he had a decent performance, but I don't think that was his best. We even made a comment a while ago when the match has started that we don't normally see him during the group stages picking up a marksman. We more so see him picking up stuff like the Paquito. But I think they wanted to try out S1 going back to the Paquito. Unfortunately, it's a lose for them. So they have to really fix things up if they don't want to get 2-0.
Yeah, I think in terms of the hero pickings here of Joe and IDNS Princess S1, ultimately, I think S1, again, it pretty much complements the entire play style that they want. They go for the sustainable jungler, right? It's kind of similar to me, Gigi. I don't know. You kind of love the Balmond pick as well. So it's kind of like the type of picks when it comes to the junglers, wherein you get the sustainable ones, not those high mobile
Mm-hmm.
assassin types of heroes. Because I think those are also kind of hard to master as well, especially if you are quite new to the game. But as for someone like you and me, we kind of like those fighter types of junglers, tanky type of junglers, and I think that is kind of what the IDNS Prince S1 is kind of leaning more towards. The more mostly the like the Basha, mostly the Pito, and yeah, mostly those heroes. And I think we've seen also a Karina pick come through once, but I'm not so sure if they'll let it slide this time.
Yeah, Baksha is gonna be respected here
Yep.
by Team Vietnam. I like how they banned it out because S1 had a fantastic performance with this
Mm-hmm.
particular hero, stretching it out towards a late game, and it led them to their win against their opponent. Idonotsleep Prince, want to see here what are they going to be allowing to be open? Are they going to be banning out the Franco? Are they going to
Fanny.
be taking out the Karina or the
I
Fanny
didn't
or the
cure you,
Balmond here
I
for
helped.
Joe?
Valentina.
Because they can, well, Team Vietnam can go with the Fanny and the Grok combo once again. They
Yeah,
have
and the
first pick
Lilia
priority.
combo.
Yep, the Lily as
Yeah,
well.
the Grok, Lilia, and Fanny. We've seen this
My
kind of
pleasure.
type of pick coming through for IDNS Thailand, so it might just come in as well for Team Vietnam. And like what I mentioned, S1 goes for these types of heroes. And so far, with the way IDNS Prince has been playing, I think it sort of relies also on S1's rotations, which kind of makes sense why Team Vietnam already placing in two bans directed against S1. So it's more of like S1's heroes being taken out. So Irena's Prince now is, here's the thing: will they let go of the Franco? Will they let go of the Wan, or will they let go of the Fanny? Like there's a lot of heroes here that Team Vietnam can pick up. So it's either maybe like the Wan band coming through, or maybe the Fanny band coming through. I think
Mm-hmm.
these are the types of heroes that you want to take out for Team
Still
Vietnam. So yeah,
swords
high
run
mobile
deep.
heroes like the Ling as well, which is also a pick coming in from Joe here. So we might just see the Fanny pick being open here, GG. Not unless Irena's Prince will ban it out for their final ban.
Yeah, I kind of have an inkling that maybe Team Vietnam are gonna
Fight! Fight for
prioritize
the
the
ultimate.
savior, since they
Mm-hmm.
would like that global presence of the dawning light, and since they have first pick priority, but they don't have that two picks advantage, so they couldn't lock in the Fanny and the Grok at the same time, unlike their match before during the group stages,
Mm-hmm.
Group B. It's a different setup for them. So they are still continuing to ban out the high profile heroes like the Hilda, like the Karina. And I think Identity Prince are going to be
Sir,
forced to
what's your
maybe ban
command?
out the Franco here. Team
Yeah,
Vietnam are just good, too good on taking it out. No, they ban out the Fanny. They're going to respect
they
the
ban out the
Frank,
Fanny.
Fanny Grok combo.
Yeah, I mean, right now there is a lot of heroes to pick up here for Vietnam, and they go. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is the Franco.
you have to
Yeah, I mentioned
choose.
this earlier on, right? It's going to be a high contest for the Franco. If you
Mm-hmm.
open it up, it's either Nart's gonna take it, either Kamui gonna take it. So right now, really, Team Vietnam is not gonna give that Franco up against Kamui. So maybe now Idea's Prince, they can pick up the Grok still pretty much. They can pick up the Grok. Maybe the Grok Lilia could work for them very well, but I haven't seen
Well, they tried it
Vina
out.
pick up the Grok.
They tried
I
it
mean,
out
I
during
haven't
game
seen them put
one.
it out, right? I haven't seen Vina put out the Lilia pick just yet. But now, also the Eve could be a great choice as well. But it is going to be difficult, especially since you don't know what Joe's hero is like, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, again, this
Okay, I like
time they
this.
steal out. Okay, yeah, they
The
steal the
choice is
one,
mine.
and they also get in the savior. So pretty much, you got the damage output already from Idena's Prince and now Vietnam. What are they going to answer out with the Wan pick here? Now, yeah, I mean, Idena's Prince, they open up the Wan, they take it for themselves, and now Team Vietnam, they can answer out with perhaps an assassin pick as early as now for
Mm-hmm.
their side for Joe, or maybe even like pick their mid laner as well. So something that can control the Wan, someone that has the range, like maybe they're just thinking about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
just think,
if you're
or
talking about
maybe,
the range, right?
well, they have
The
been
Lilia
seeing us.
Moskov. Bring out the
Time
Lilia
to
Yeah.
Moskov. No,
decide.
I'm just
Wait
kidding.
for
I'm
Mm-hmm.
no
just kidding.
man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they
No
bring out the
man.
Beatrix. This is pretty much still a switch
The
up of heroes.
standard and the Eve.
Yes, I was thinking of the Eve as well, which is a pick
Oh,
coming through for Vietnam. But they go for the Lilia, yeah. Gangshan has a
maybe
lot of
for
heroes
the
actually.
ulti as well, especially if the one will
Pop in that
go
ultimate, right? You
flying,
can
right?
Yep. You can just click in that ultimate. It resets your cooldown for the gloom. It also resets um your uh, your skills as well. So pretty much now it is kind of like these teams just switching up on the heroes. And now at S1, I haven't seen this on S1. The Hellcurt pick here. So this is a lot of heroes that has high
Burst.
burst,
Yeah.
the 1-1, the Hellcurt, then you got the range from Vina as well. But now here's the thing: you only have Nart here to control Sunflower, to control Vina. So I still think that pretty much Vietnam has it under the bag. I mean, this is a comfort pick for them.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be targeted towards Joe's heroes? Perhaps a Lancelot here could be a ban. I mean, it seems like this is the route, right? You take out the heroes of Joe, but it is going to be the sustainable sides here that's taken out the Derot pick that comes true for Arena's Prince.
Mm-hmm. Some of the heroes that Joe also have used were, well, the Fanny, the Balmond, the Hayabusa, Ling has been taken
Yeah.
away, so that's not an option for them anymore. Team Vietnam is lacking a little bit of frontline. They have lots of damage, but in
Yeah.
terms of frontline, they're kind of lacking it as of the moment. So maybe Hehe picking up something like a glue might help them. The Deeroth has been
Uh-huh.
taken away, though Grok is available, so it can be an option for them as well. Since Idonotsleep Prince, so far their first 3 picks are quite squishy too, and we have
Yeah.
seen Grox getting that half HP bar damage already with just one hit.
So, yeah, they take out the Paquito as well. So that's a lot of I mean Paquito and the Derot could be the XP laner, could be that tanky side that Team Vietnam needs, and Arena's Prince already closing out the options that Team Vietnam could possibly take. So now Team Vietnam, will they take out the Grok here? I mean, they still need someone to kind of set up things up. So the Grok is open, and it's going to be the Esmeralda for the final ban here of Team Vietnam. It's kind of hard to deal with the Esmeralda as well, especially under the hands of Sunday Ye. Sunday could perhaps pick up again the the Yuzong rather.
Yeah. Yeah, Yuzong is available. I think it may be a good choice.
Ooh,
But
the Masha.
Masha,
Completely forgot about this.
mm-hmm. It
Masha
wasn't
pick.
them that used it before,
Mhm.
but I'm kind of looking forward to this. I did as Esports actually had a fantastic performance with this, although it did not turn out into a win. But yeah, we saw Sun Unpack having an incredible performance with the Masha, and I think they could have adapted to it. Grok and yeah, Hayabusa can be some good pick here. They have the front line, they have that assassinating potential towards the 1-1 later on.
Yeah.
And overall, I think this is a decent draft coming from them. Good AD damage, a good physical damage, good magic damage as well, and a lot of
Yeah.
setups can be made with the hook, with the wall, and with the assassination potential here of the Hayabusa.
They still kind of need an initiator here for IDNS Prince. I mean, it could be Sunday Ye with the Smasha, but I think for ultimately for Kamui, yeah, he goes for those type of flashy heroes, right? The Franco, the Matilda, even the Jawhead. These are types of heroes that can really do the engage. But I will completely forgot about the Cho pick as well that can isolate Hehe here or maybe even the Lilia. But this is a great pickup. The Ruby that really
sustain.
it's hard to go up against a Ruby, especially if you're a Lilia. You can't really pop up your black shoes once you get in that I am offended combo, right? I am offended flicker combo. So this is a great answer from the team IDNS Prince. But now both teams, it seems to be sort of like an equal amount of damage dealers and equal amount of initiators as well. So I'm looking forward to see again a lot of clashes with this type of composition. Earlier on, like for game number 1, it was that type of composition where in IDNS Prince going for those again solidifying their sides, going for the tanky sides. But now we kind of see like IDNS Prince kind of striking back, putting up heroes that can also initiate as well. So now it is pretty much an even ball game, I think, when it comes to the draft. But when it comes to the execution, it could be a different story.
Yeah, it's up to the execution as always by both teams. But with the drafts, I think this is looking good for both of them. I want to highlight though like the pros and cons here for both teams because well, for Team Vietnam they have a solid front line, solid front line, and for IDNS Prince, well, I think they have some creativity on their lineup as well. That global range
Mhm.
for Vina and the lights out basically for for S1. But oh, okay, that was a good hook coming in
Nice,
from Nart. Just
nice
to disrupt.
attempt, but yeah, just to disrupt. I mean, it really does matter, right? If you can't farm properly, it's going to be like a three-man rotation, like guarding S1 here, trying to be able to secure the buff, but could be punished here a little bit too much, and they disengage from that. So it's more of like the pokes, more of they don't want to get as early as right now. They don't want to get as much casualties for both teams. Like earlier on, what happened was Team Vietnam, Joe got in the first blood. So it was pretty much like a power spike for Team Vietnam. It went on and on and on. And it was just pretty much their game for game number one. But right now, we can kind of see how both teams are pretty much, on the safer side.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of worried though about Team Vietnam because of the mashup pick. But oh, that
Ooh.
was a nice hook. Camo is gonna try to escape. He's relatively tanky, so I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna fall down that quickly. Again, to my point, the
Almost.
mashup pick is gonna be scary because of how Team Vietnam has two tanks, and we saw in the game that normally this mashup will go straight to the mage. If you take out the mage, then you don't have that burst anymore. It's gonna be relying on to Hehe and Joe,
Oh,
but
dear.
they will get that kill onto Vina. That's first blood here by Joe early on as Gangshin is trying to please
Oh,
get
he
flickered
does
in
not
by
have the black
Kamui.
shoes.
No longer has black shoes. He will fall down as well. Good job here by both teams so far.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's still level 3 for Vina. Rather for Gangshin, rather. He didn't pop in the black shoes, and therefore it was just a mid laner for mid laner trade here by Team Vietnam and IDNS Prince. But now we are seeing another code being flashed here on our screen. Don't forget to take a screen cap. Be sure to put that in and redeem your tournament chest. Of course, something that we want. But right now, all the action here on the turtle side as Team Vietnam secures it safely. Nice attempt there by Vina and Kamui, but ultimately they might pay the price here. Cookie Shadow kill onto the backside, and both our mid laners are just level 3 right now. So Joe already level 5, pretty much is on a good rotation here for Team Vietnam. Very clean so far.
Mm-hmm. Quietly clean setup indeed. Dawning Light is gonna be thrown and Nart falls down. That's a 1-for-1 trade once again. Joey's trying to get that those 2 kills on the squishy members here of Idonotsleep Prince. They are quite low. I think Kama is gonna fall down. Gangching takes a kill. They're gonna take some plates here on the bot lane tier 1 tower to up their economy, in which they are a little bit ahead. Just just 1,000 gold ahead from Idonotsleep Prince.
Yeah, look at how they're making Hehe win the lane. It's just so beautiful to watch. We've seen it in game number 1 with the Wan, but nice hook. They're coming in by Nart on point as Gangshin blasts him in the face with those plumes. 4-2 is our score in favor of Team Vietnam.
Yeah, fantastic plays coming in from them. As this game is looking quite well, Nart continues to go for those hooks, while Idonotsleep Prince is just trying to farm out safely since S1 needs to scale up a little bit as well.
Yeah, Nart has been putting global pressure on this Franco. Look at that. Even someone as tanky as Sunday, he goes in for the bloody hunt, is relentless on trying to take him down. All the bars are low right now as Joe can go in for the Oogie Shadow kill, but this is Sunday you're talking about. He is quite tanky, forcing him to back away. Again, Team Vietnam, they are really looking to solidify their side, something that kind of counters out towards what IDNS Prince has been showing. So right now, it is more of IDNS Prince kind of has to go in for those engage, kind of has to go in for those initiations. Because so far, it has been just Team Vietnam North initiating right now.
Yeah, Dawning Light gonna be thrown here by Vina, but it's not shaking Team Vietnam as of the moment. As a wall put up by Meow, as they are looking to just zone out Idonotsleep Prince with him even getting the kill onto Sunflower. That is huge, and it's being able to tank up so much damage. Kamui tries to chase him down, but he couldn't get it. As one being isolated is gonna be a free kill by Joe. They're dividing and conquering Idonotsleep Prince right now. 6-2 on the board. They're looking so good right now.
Yeah, I love the interesting that you mentioned that they are isolating, and it is working quite well for them right now. Team Vietnam already on the the 4K gold lead as they okay, it's going to be a very big lead if they get in this mid-side tower. Look at how Nart has been positioning himself. Global pressure. You kind of don't know when he's gonna throw out those smokes. Just like that, he's just standing right there, just waiting for someone to come out and just put out those hooks. It's just really, really scary to have this Franco under the hands of Nart. So right now, you can kind of see what it has been a priority pick for Team Vietnam earlier on for Nart to in get in those initiator type of heroes, and it has been working so well for them. This is kind of like a deja vu with what we saw in game number one, wherein they solidified their side, and now this is kind of like early lead for Team Vietnam. 6 minutes in, they already got in 3 towers here.
And Hehe is also ahead by 1,500 gold from Sunflower as Meow again initiating for the team, closing the distance, actually providing that zoning tool for Team Vietnam so that they can secure more towers and increase their gold earned more. Idonotsleep Prince trying to defend. That's going to be Someday trying to flank from behind, and it's actually doing a really good job. Nart is already down, but Kamui falls down
Suntower's
as well.
flying.
He is flying indeed, but he is too low to keep attacking. Hehe will secure the trade, and they will just continue pushing. 2-for-1 exchange. Team Vietnam still winning the fight.
Yes. Definitely. This is kind of why you want Hehe to win in the lane, right? I mean, look at that. Sunflower is already quite deadly, but not as deadly as Hehe was in game number one. They have been controlling their lanes very well. They also got the last turtle, by the way, of this game. And right now, Sunday Ye in the midst of it all. Gangshin, it's taken down. No black shoes here, but Nart is just really crazy on this Franco. He can play out of his mind. Look at the map control of Team Vietnam. 7 minutes and 5 towers already down, whereas Idonotsleep Prince is just struggling even get in a tower. Look at that. Gangshin, Dawning Light, Kamui gets in the I'm offended, but Nart is the only one left. But Sunday Ye and Vina entraps them in that, and they take down 2-for-1 trade, and now Idonotsleep Prince kind of sorta fighting back right now. Sunday Ye can go in for the split pushes, definitely. Can definitely tank in all those damage coming in from Joe and Gangshin as well. So I think pretty much now for Idonotsleep Prince is just wait out for Sunday Ye to do those split pushes.
They're gonna split push. That was a small hiccup coming in from Team Vietnam. They try to they already successfully killed S1 and even took out his purple buff, but that overextension led to 2 kills being picked up here by Idonotsleep Prince. Slowly coming back in terms of the gold, they're only down 5,000, although it's still a significant amount. They can still scale up in this game. And if we see Sunday, he has no deaths at all. This is a reminiscent of Idonotsleep Esports, wherein Sunum Pak was just immortal during the game, and he's gonna threaten so much on the back line of Team Vietnam later on. If Team Vietnam won't be able to close out this game that fast, it's gonna turn more challenging for them, as we have a short glimpse of our beautiful faces. We head back into the game again.
Don't forget who's talking, guys, but also don't forget that code as well as that hook. Coming in, taking down the initiator here of Idonotsleep Prince as they look towards more. Look at the Guardian's barrier here, but S1 is able to escape that almost.
Yeah.
With the second Sunflower, fortunately enough, he was able to escape that one. But here comes the Dark Knight Falls. S1 is looking for a target, but it is just a diversion here for Idonotsleep Prince, as now Team Vietnam will secure in the first Lord of Pain. Don't forget those redeem codes. Don't forget to take a screen cap and redeem them right now. Our highest tournament chest is a level 8 tournament chest, by the way, that contains 1,099 diamonds. So don't forget to redeem all those codes. Enjoy the game, as right now Team Vietnam on an onslaught has that almost a total map control here. But still pretty much Idonotsleep Prince, they are looking to pick that.
They have the Lord. Well, Team Vietnam has the Lord pushing as of the moment here in the mid lane, while Hehe is guiding the bot one with Nart, making sure no one flanks him from behind or
Mhm.
from the side. As that's gonna be engaged here by Joe. Pops out the ulti, just deal some damage. He's gonna be able to escape successfully while forcing them to retreat away from the towers. They will secure the mid one as they are trying to contest. Someday A is being in the front line. They have to be
Oh
very
dear.
careful on the Sunflower. Bina is gonna secure the kill onto He, and that is huge. Gangshin trying to escape, but he won't. He will fall down as well, and that was what we have been talking about
Mhm.
since a while ago. You wouldn't want to give the late game here towards Idonotsleep Prince because they will pop off, and Sunflower will just continue to fly. Oh,
Yeah,
that
but
damage
Sunflower
though.
is also, yeah, the damage though coming in from Meow. This is a tank that you're talking about. That Sunflower is someone you kind of want in this game. Gorgeous barrier, Meow Amy getting taken down, but the shutdown coming in from Vina already on a killing spree and also securing in that holy crystal. Speaking of Vina, it is quite easier to get in the items because he does have this mystery shop emblem. So pretty much you can kind of feel the power spike here of IDNS Prince. This is kind of reminiscent towards that Sicilian game that they had, right? They got a solid sides and then they got someone to do in the diversion plays, doing those split pushes like Sunday as well as S1 here. But now you can kind of see Team Vietnam struggling. So now in every clash, you kind of want to control. I think the major thing you want to control here for Team Vietnam, or rather IDNS Prince, is to take down Sunflower first, and the team fights are going to be relatively easier.
If they would be able to, because they're the ones grouping up at the moment. Gangshin getting ganked once again. He's gonna fall down. That is quite unfortunate because, well, 27 seconds before he respawns, it's gonna take some time for him to reach the Lord. And it is spawning quite faster than his respawn time. And I think
Mhm.
Idonoslip Prince may actually be able to contest this right now, given the fact that they have been winning the previous fights. And Sunday even is being able to split push for the team.
Yeah, and now Ruby Shadow Kill, they are trying to take down Sunflower. But now this is what I mentioned. If you do have a Masha, I think ultimately if you put Sunday with an arrival, it could be relatively easier to split push the lanes. But a lot of minions also coming in towards the base of IDNS Prince. And now they are looking to solidify their grasp on this game. 13-minute mark, this is the Luminous Lord, but I think this is IDNS Prince knowing their power
Oh
spike. They
no.
could potentially get a kill. But of course, don't forget those redeem codes once again, guys.
Yeah, and
That
we're
is
back.
popping in. And we're back here as it is going to be crucial. Joe takes down S1. No jungler here, but now
Oh,
Sunflower
Sunflower.
trying to pop in that ultimate. It is a Maleficer once again for Sunflower. It's still not over Friday in
Yep,
Splits.
that was a good job coming in from Team Vietnam, being able to kill two people in exchange for just one. Hehe falling down for the team. But again, if you can't take down Sunflower, you won't actually win the fight or you won't actually win the game. You have to kill him or else it's going to be much harder for Team Vietnam to close out this game even further. They are going to be trying to secure this Lord with the help of Joe in a short while as he is has just arrived. But Sunday spots them, sniffs the plan here of Team Vietnam, and he's gonna be trying to contest their nice attack though. By Meow obliterates Sunflower in an instant, and I think
It's a
this
double
is gonna
kill.
be the perfect opportunity for Team Vietnam. 25-second death timer here for Sunflower, and they will have the Lord pushing again in the mid lane. I think Nart is gonna have a huge responsibility here to get at least one good hook onto maybe Vina or S1. And they will be able to secure this top lane inhibitor tower. Dawning Light once again. Nice ulti by Nart, stopping that potential
Oh,
kill onto
Meow.
Hehe. But Meow is trying to run. Alright, good job, Nart. And Idonotsleep Prince, they're still putting up a good fight here.
They're still in this
Sunday
game.
has
Yeah.
to be the front. He has to distract or at least isolate the members of Team Vietnam.
Oh,
But, oh, Gangshin!
Gangshin!
What were you doing? That's gonna be an oopsie coming in from Team Vietnam, and I think they really have to fall back now.
Yep, they gotta fall back, but I think it was perhaps like I think it was a flicker in. So a quick technical pause here from Team Vietnam as well as Team IDNS Prince, but it is still pretty much leaning towards Vietnam. But I think GG ultimately, what you can kind of see in the clashes is everyone is just going for Sunflower. Yao, Joe picking off Sunflower because it's really difficult, especially if you have everyone grouped together. That's kind of what a 1-1 wants, right? You group all together, it's easier to pop in that ultimate, pop in that inspire, just go flying around, taking everyone down. And it's
Mm-hmm.
already the mid to late game. So pretty much everyone sort of has all the items that they need to be able to dish out the damage. But I think with one proper clash there in the base, it could go both ways. It's either IDNS Prince could successfully defend it, or either it could be the end for them here in game number two.
It's a coin flip as of the moment
Yeah.
because while scaling definitely fits Idonotsleep Prince, and that's something that Team Vietnam are trying to look out for. They had a fantastic engage, and I really wanna commend the Grok for it. Meow Ami being able to go in with the ulti and then charge auto attack, secure the kill quite early on in the fight. But even so, I don't see Prince are still able to keep up with them, being able to successfully defend, especially after that small hiccup from Gangchin. And now, as he responds back again, I think he's going to be trying to play this out a little bit more safe because that was kind of crucial.
Yep. Right now, I think it is IDNS Prince sort of finding their groove. Look at one dawning light already chunking down head to 140 HP.
Yeah, that was actually almost half of his HP gone with just one skill. With just one skill. That is how insane the damage is coming in from Vina. And this Death Brush might actually be
Yeah.
amazing, but unfortunately, it's Sunday that
Yep.
they got.
Sunday
Is
EA that has
tanky.
no deaths. He is
Yep.
so tanky.
He
Conceal
opened.
play here popped in. Kamui getting an I am
Oh,
offended as they
Gangshin.
are trying to go in for the engage onto Gangshin. This is the entire IDNS Prince chasing after
Team Vietnam
Gangshin
though.
that has the black shoes, gets instantly taken down with
Oh, the hook!
no.
They're trying to push
Again,
now.
there is an instant purify, but I think it was a diversion play
Yup.
as Team
Oh my.
Vietnam goes in and baits it out. IDNS Prince with a nice attempt on that potential kill, but it is Team Vietnam with the wiser choice. Just go in for the base. Pretty much
That was
a
fantastic.
surprise. Yeah, it was a nice attempt by IDNS Prince to go in for that conceal play, get in some pickoffs. Yeah, Gangshin was the sacrificial lamb, unfortunately, but ultimately it was what made Team Vietnam with this win this particular game with a backdoor play. I mean, this is kind of what you need, right? If you are sort of focused on the team fights,
Mm-hmm.
you can have all these uh, m- great micro and macro as well coming in from Team Vietnam.
And the very decisive strategy that they did. Well, initially, Team Vietnam was kind of in a tough spot there.
Yeah,
Gangshin being overextended once again, and he just tried to stall them out. Quick
yeah,
reaction time, quick decision making. I don't know who's the shot caller on the team, but that was well played because they
definitely.
immediately went mid, went into the mid lane, tried to push, knowing that it was just going to be the 1-1 to defend. And they even not even landed a successful hook. So that's already a big deal onto Sunflower, allowing
Mhm,
them to just flicker in and go in with the ulti for Nart to
mhm.
secure the kill. And they have enough minions. They have a cannon minion marching in the mid
Exactly.
as well that help them get the base. 2-0
Yeah.
victory, and I want to highlight, Meow. Yeah, that was a
Now,
well-deserved MVP. He got one or two solo kills onto Sunflower, in which basically in all the team fights, he was untouchable. But due to the fact that this Grok is relatively tanky and deals nukes of damage, they were able to kind of surprise Idonotsleep Prince right there.
mhm. I think ultimately it was crucial to pop in the Guardian's barrier and then the ultimate there being chunking down a lot of members from the side of IDN as Prince Realo, but I think it was a good shot call coming in for both teams. I was kind of wondering, okay, what's going to happen? Are you just gonna let Gangshin fall down under the hands of IDN as Prince? But it was just a diversion play. I was thinking it could perhaps be a call from Gangshin. They were just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, yeah, guys, just go for the base. Okay, while they're busy with me, just go for the base. Just really much a diversion play. And I think ultimately there it was the factor that Idenas Prince wanted to get the damage dealers, but unfortunately enough, it was just pretty much Team Vietnam just hungry for the win. They go in for the base instead. But now we are going to be having a 30-minute break before we head on to the next game, which is going to be let me take a
Yeah, the
look
match
at
of
our
Nightmare Esports and
there you
Idonotsleep
go.
Esports. It's gonna be one
Mhm.
hell of a series
Right.
as well. So make sure to tune in later on. It's just a 30-minute break, but after that, we'll be back for more action.
Yeah, and more tournament chess. You're still watching the MSC Mekong Qualifiers 2022. And of course, this will be 6 representatives from 3 countries, Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam, right now in the playoffs, fighting for the spot to have that 10,000 US dollar prize. And of course, to be crowned as the MSC representatives for this year, this 2022, which will be held in Kuala Lumpur. Welcome once again back to the tournament. This is organized by MSC Global in cooperation with the Vietnam Recreational and Electronic Sports Association, VNG Games, and Laos Esports Federation. Burger Kim and Giang Gaming once again at your service.
Yes, and we recently have watched the match of Team Vietnam going up against Idonotsleep Prince. Congratulations to Team Vietnam for being able to secure their upper bracket slot for tomorrow's games. And well, for IDNS Prince or I Do Not Sleep Prince, they will go on to the lower bracket. So let's see who are they going to be matching up with,
Mhm.
depending on who is going to win in this particular series, the match of Nightmare Esports and I Do Not Sleep Esports. A little background on how they performed. Well, Nightmare Esports, they have one win during the group stages, and they suffered a series loss against Team Vietnam. Comparing it to Idonotsleep Esports, they have a little bit of a better performance since
Mhm.
they have one series win and one tie series against I Do Not Sleep Prince. Unfortunately, their series win was a default, however. So due to this, there is going to be maybe a little bit of an advantage by I Do Not Sleep Esports against Nightmare Esports because of that lack of information on their respective lineup. We're in for Nightmare Esports. We already know like, who to look out for, particularly Nano
Exactly.
Ship on his Hilda. So that's
Mhm.
something that they
There
should be
is
looking out
Exactly. I feel like there is going to be I was about to talk about the possible bans here.
for. Hmm.
Yeah, Hilda. This is going to be quite interesting since I think both teams, both IDNS Esports and Nightmare Esports, actually, they have that equal amount of aggression when they can. So I think it can be pretty much a very high adrenaline type of game here for this particular matchup. And speaking of these two teams, Nightmare Esports and IDNS, who will be facing Team Vietnam in the upper bracket, and there is someone, unfortunately, will not be who will not be winning this particular match.
Hmm.
Will be facing IDNS Prince in the lower bracket.
Nano Ship is here. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
expecting that aggressive, a very aggressive playstyle coming in from Nightmare Esports, especially on the roaming department. I Didn't Sleep Esports will take out
Oh, there you
those
go.
high
Speaking
pressure
of nano
heroes.
ship,
They got
yeah,
the
high
Hilda,
pressure.
they got the
They got
Franco.
Franco, maybe even the Grak.
Uh huh.
Who knows, right? Might be IDNS Esports taking out
I
all the
didn't do it to
possible
pay you.
heroes here of
Masha as
Nano
well,
Ship. Uh,
Nano Ship, well, during their match against Team Vietnam, they tried putting out Baby Blue Eyes, so as
yeah,
well, having some engaged heroes. But I think on the draft, on the composition that Nightmare Esports so far has been working is more on the aggressive early game to mid game heroes that can allow them to snowball well, quite early and be able to dictate the flow of the game. So Sleep Esports being having to remove the Franco kind of reduces those initial hassle, especially for their jungle in regards to
Among the
farming.
planes exists
But
the equilibrium,
Nightmare Esports
which
taking out the
I was
Valentine as
made
well. Well, high
for.
priority, Karina, the Fanny, take note of the Ling as
Ling,
well. Yeah.
right. Even the Hellcurt, I think, for Nightmare
Sir,
Esports could
what's
be
your
a
command?
pickup. As speaking of that, these two teams have the type of aggression that most people want or most teams want, right? They can go for the full aggressive side, and it's going to be the Fanny Band coming through. Of course, obviously, with how Lois has performed so far with this Fanny, not 100% win rate, but when Lois does have this Fanny, he can absolutely go so crazy, can
Mhm.
be so aggressive in the early game, which is quite difficult, especially if you are Nightmare Esports. That is also the type of team that goes for the assassin junglers.
Mhm. And I don't think that Nightmare Esports would like to give a chance to Idonotsleep Esports in taking out the Grok Fanny combo for Lois. That's going to be one
Yeah,
hell of a
Grok
run.
Fanny.
They took up Grok as well. With respect to Nano Ship, that's good of them. That's good of them. Especially that Nano Ship and also Jasmine can use this in particular,
Mhm.
since rotations and setups for team fights can be amazing and can be a big hassle for the enemy team. For their last ban, I think, well, Karina is still open. Maybe the
Ling is still
Ling
open. The
could be taken
Hellcurt.
out.
Not
Mhm.
unless they want to give that up, right? They want
Yep.
to bring, like, they want to give it up and make IDNS Esports just pick that up. And by the way, just to clarify, this is another IDNS team. So it's IDNS Esports
Yes.
from Thailand this time. So it
Hope
is, yeah, the
still
Ling band that
swords
will come
run
through
deep.
here for Nightmare Esports, leaving only perhaps like the Hellcurt, the Karina
Mhm.
is open here for both IDNS Esports and Nightmare Esports to pick up. Not unless they
Masha.
don't pick it up in the first stage. Yeah, they can pick up. Hilda is open, by the way.
Hilda
Hilda,
is open.
IDNS.
Like, you actually leave it open. Well, I think
Well,
Nightmare Esports purposely
Basha
left
is
it
still
open
open.
since they're the ones who want to use it. Idonotsleep Esports
Yeah.
haven't used the Hilda just yet, although it was a high priority ban during the group stages. We don't we haven't seen them pick it up just yet, and I think they most likely will prioritize something like a master that worked for them already,
This time,
and also the
the
savior.
choice is
Yeah,
mine.
one
The
of the
savior for
priority
Ramela,
picks. Mhm.
which is pretty much something we haven't seen from Ramela. Ramela has picked up the Eve, has picked up the Lilia, but in terms of the experience, though, Ramela has played a lot of roles as well. So I think she can be as versatile, picking up this savior. But Nightmare Esports already immediately goes for the Paquito, which I don't think I haven't seen in their composition. So this is kind of a little bit of switch up. This Paquito is
Mhm.
pretty much flexible. It is a flex pick. It can go to the jungle. It can go to the EXP lane. It can pretty much sometimes. Okay, I've seen a Paquito tag. It pretty much works very well. A little throwback to the previous patches as well. This Selena was a highly contested pick as well. It creates so much pressure. It creates map um, vision rather for the entire team of Nightmare Esports.
Mhm.
So there are the types of teams that can go on the aggressive side, right? And with the abyssal traps here that will be planted by Nightmare Esports, it will be easier for them to put in pressure on the sides, even to the mid laner here, which is the savior that already immediately has that purify up.
Yeah, and there's a good job by them as well, denying the Selena from
Karina,
Xandru.
there you
Yep,
go.
and
The Karina. Yeah, they
mhm.
can pick up the Esmeralda here for Nightmare Esports, but here's the thing: this could just be an XP lane Paquito, so it might not be. Well, it is still pretty much utilized. The gold lane Esmeralda is still pretty much viable. So I think an Esmeralda would be great. We've
Oh,
seen this. We've seen this as well for Baby Blue, but I think in terms of hero pick as well, Nanoshift can definitely pull this off, especially if you are with this type of composition, the Matilda, the Karina, as well as the Savior, which pretty much you can do in some setup. You can do. There's a lot of possible combos here for Nightmare Esports. You go in for the knockup strikes from the Paquito. You get in those fatal links. You can definitely set the tempo here for Nightmare Esports. And now it seems to be the contest for the gold laners, the 1-1, the Beatrix immediately taken out, which we kind of see already in the first series. It's pretty much a back and forth game. They pick up the Beatrix, they pick up the 1-1s, which now means there is a lot of heroes open here. I feel like IDNS, it would be great to pick up the gold lane Popol and Koopa. The Popol and Koopa could be a great pickup for them to counter out the vision that Nightmare Esports has.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen a little combo like this. It is a Selena and a Popol Koopa. Just imagine
Imagine the
if
crowd
you were to
control. Oh,
check the bushes. There is a lot of traps. There is a lot of abyssal arrows. We're to the point wherein you don't even know which bush is kind of safe, right? So
yeah.
I pretty much think the Popol and Koopa would be a great pickup here for Nightmare Esports. If right now, right? In terms of the gold lane matchup, it would be really great. There is a lot of pick off potential. Denying it from IDNS
Mm-hmm.
Esports, right? I mean, IDNS Esports, it really makes so much sense to pick up the Popple and Koopa, not unless Nightmare Esports has kind of some other plan,
Come
maybe go
on,
for the
Dexter.
Brody,
It's our
which we've seen,
showtime.
but they'll go for the Burst instead. Ooh, this is the Atlas combo. So many combos from Nightmare
Yeah.
Esports. The Fatal Links, Knockup Strike, and now you add up another Burst damage dealer, which is the Claude that can dish out so much damage in the late game. So now will IDNS Esports pick up the Brody, or perhaps maybe pick up the Popple and Koopa, which I haven't seen so much here in the Mekong
Mhm.
qualifiers. But they still need a hero for Sanomba. The Masha has been taken out. Sanompak has played the Graph as well on the XP lane. So someone that can do that. There you go, the Popple and Koopa. I was right. I was right. The
Mm-hmm.
Popple and Koopa.
It's a good
That
matchup.
is so great to match up against the Selena. I was actually expecting Nightmare Esports to pick up the Popple and Koopa, but in terms of the combo that they have with this Atlas, it kind of makes so much more sense to pick up the Claude. But when it comes to the laning phase in the gold lane, you gotta give it to the Popple and Koopa. But they also solidify their draft here by, of course, picking up a tanky sideliner, which is the glue here for IDNS Esports. But
Mhm.
I did mention the Esmeralda earlier would be a great pickup. So this kind of confirms the fact that this is a Paquito jungler for Nightmare
Yes.
Esports. I was kind of wondering if it was like an XP lane or a jungler, but now with this Esmeralda pickup, it is going to be a Paquito jungler.
Paquito jungler and an engaged composition built up here by Nightmare Esports. And this is a good pick. The Esmeralda as well, since Jasmine has used this already. And he had a relatively good performance with this as well. Idonotsleep Esports, with their draft so far, it's looking good. They can match the early aggression of Nightmare Esports,
Mhm.
especially because of the Popol and Koopa having those traps laid out to potentially zone out the members a little bit away from Nightmare Esports. And I think they're gonna be relying a little bit on early game snowballing because of
Right.
the Karina pick and a decent amount of scaling as well, because most of the time we are just gonna be seeing a
I think it
a
will be
tank Karina on
definitely.
this.
Yeah, I think it will be a very aggressive early game. You got a Selena, you also got the Karina, right? These are the types of heroes that can be very, very aggressive in the early side. Not to mention, you also have a Matilda in the composition here of IDNS Esports. We kind of saw this already, but the thing is, here's the thing. For Nightmare Esports, they want to do in those wombo combos, right? The Atlas with the Fatal Links, you combine it with the Falling Star Moon, you combine it with the Knockup Strikes, then you combine it with the Blazing Duet with the Claw. There is just so much to do, but Nano Ship already being so aggressive here onto Lois.
got
He is able to get.
Oh
He is able to get the purple ball. What an insane steal! But it could potentially go both ways if they continue
Oh,
chunking
even the Lito.
Nano Ship like that. Oh gosh, they got a lot of resources. This is what I mentioned, the early game pressure, the early game engages. These two teams can definitely be very, very aggressive. A great start there by Nightmare Esports, denying Lois of that purple buff. So this is going to be quite interesting as they are on the full aggressive side already this early on, GG. And speaking of, there is a giveaway code right now.
Make
Don't
sure to
forget
get
to
it.
take a screen cap and make sure to get it.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about. Lois with the Karina heavily relying on early game snowballing and immediately denied by Nano Ship, even with the help of Soul as well. And too easy for Lexi getting the Little Wanderer. So in terms of levels, not is kind of struggling as of the moment, but so far being able to keep up just a little bit with a little bit of invade here and there. He's able to catch up in terms of XP, but there is a setup of a gank towards the top lane. So Izzy should be a little bit careful as he is gonna get connected with the Abyssal Arrow, but still able to escape. Here on the bot side, Nano Ship, well, it's an Atlas, my friend. It's hard to kill an Atlas, especially using a Matilda or even as a Karina. Xander is gonna regret going in as Loy is gonna be the next target. Too easy for Lexi. Might get an easy steal out of this. He does not get it. Loy's got the kill plus the turtle. So this is huge already for the side of Idonotsleep Esports as they are trying to get
onto
even more.
Lois.
So is going to back away after experiencing so much damage coming in from Ramela. So in a short amount of time, initially it's a hard start for Lois, but definitely came back here at the 2-minute mark.
Like what I mentioned, these two teams can definitely answer out to each other's aggression. Have you seen that clash? It was so clean, even to the point that they got a 2-2 trade, eventually punishing Nightmare Esports, and then IDNS eventually strikes back. And right now, with how aggressive our roamers are here for IDNS Esports, they can definitely go for the pickoffs. Look at Soso already positioning himself on the top side, but I mean, this is just Vision putting out traps here for IDNS Esports, but IDNS already being so aggressive here, going to the red side here. And look at Romella's dawning light onto the backside, choking down a little bit of HP. Look at the Fatal
Ooh.
Links as well. Abyssal Arrow just a little bit, but Lois is able to escape that. Gets the red buff as well of Nightmare Esports, kind of like an equal trade-off. Like Nanoship was able to get in the purple buff as early as the 1 minute mark, and right now Lois kind of like fights back and gets the red buff here of the Nightmare Esports. 2-2 is a score, but of course in favor of IDNS Esports, they got in the turtle, and right now they are looking forward to get in more of the engagements.
Yeah, Idonotsleep Esports having a good time right now. They caught up in terms of gold. They're actually ahead by 600 gold. And this is a good sign coming in from them. They have a good side lane control.
Oh,
Izzy is actually
dear.
doing a really good job maintaining his stance here on the top lane. And Nightmare Esports, despite with the ganks, despite trying to go with 3 versus 1 against him, he's able to safely disengage. And this allows Idonotsleep Esports to have that space in
Mhm.
terms of rotation across the map and make those objective takedowns. Right now, Nightmare Esports are gonna start this turtle. They have numbers advantage, but it's gonna be contested in a short while. That's a good engage with a fatal
Dawning
link.
light in the
However,
backside.
it's Nightmare Esports securing the turtle. What will be in exchange? Because Sun of Pack, Izzy, and Lois are doing a lot of
Oh,
damage. Lois fell
gosh.
down, but so does 3 members of Nightmare Esports. And Idonotsleep Esports, they really are alive and awake right now.
Yeah, they haven't been sleeping, preparing for this match. But you know, kidding aside, here's the thing about IDNS Esports' composition. They are built to isolate, right? You got the glue. This is kind of like what you want, right? Isolate members. Even the Matilda is also sort of isolating members, right? You get in the Circling Eagle, you're kind of like, you're forced to back away. You also have the Savior there to just, you know, caught everyone to a disarray with the dawning light. But here's the thing about Nightmare Esports. After each time they engage, it's just so beautiful to watch the fatal links. But right after that, right, after the combos, what's next for them? IDNS Esports will just wait for them to pop in those ultimates and then go in for the dives that they need. Go in for the isolations, and then they can win in the clash. Therefore, they were able to get already, well, a slight gold lead. It's a 1k gold lead. They also got the tower on the top side, and not to mention, Izzy is already on a killing spree with this Popple and Koopa, which is,
Yup.
not to mention, a lane bully up against a Claude. You need Cammy to scale up very well on this Claude, but how is that possible with constant pressure that Izzy has been doing on the top side, and they are looking to further push forward that lane? It's just crazy how these two teams are just going for the counter engages every time.
And they're even having this high confidence in contesting Nightmare Esports wherever they go. Normally, when we see an engaged composition with even a Selena in the lineup, the enemy team would try to respect and play a little bit safe, hugging the towers and just relying on the support or the roaming tank to gain some vision. But here for Idonotsleep Esports, no, they don't need that anymore. They know that they can win the team fight. They know that they have the better gold funneling towards their carries, and they're even initiating these objectives right now, having full trust on their allies like Sanopak and Zanri, as Nightmare Esports are still gonna try to contest. Nanoship won't get the steal. It's Lois, the God of Turtle, as Zanri and Sanopak are, you know, doing this crowd control and interruptions on their positionings.
Oh,
Even with
carry
the
on the
blazing duet,
backside.
it won't actually do much, but Nanoship
Oh, Abyssal Arrow
zoning
onto
Sanopak.
Lois.
Yeah, that's a nice Abyssal Arrow as
Nice
well.
disengage.
But I know Steve Esports are gonna try
Oh,
to disengage.
Jasmine.
Lois is in trouble, but he has Sun on Pack, so that's not gonna be an easy kill for Jasmine.
Yeah, nice attempt though. But speaking of lane bully as well as a very fast pusher, Izzy already takes down the mid side. This is what I was saying, right? IDNS Esports
just like this. They are built to isolate the members so that Nightmare Esports can't do that wombo combo that they want with this competition. They are winning at this. They're waiting for those ultimates to be popped up, then go in for the engages. It's also good that Izzy is putting pressure on all sides of the lane. This is a Popple and Pupa, right? So fast with the pushes, but of course our codes are being flashed up there right now. So be sure to take a screen cap, be sure to redeem it right now because the highest tournament chest that we are giving out for this entire duration of the playoffs, not just for today, is a level 8 tournament chest. But the tournament goes on once again between these two teams, IDNS Esports and Nightmare Esports, and it's looking very good right now with this type of composition that IDNS Esports has, built to isolate, built to pressure in all the lanes, whereas Nightmare Esports, they are being a very team fight, a center team. And right after the combos, it is just pretty much they have to disengage, right?
They definitely have to disengage, especially with the amount of pressure that Idonotsleep Esports is giving towards Nightmare Esports right now. Grouping up even onto the top lane, so Jasmine might be in trouble, but he's relatively fast and even has the ultimate for that jump away from
Mhm.
Idonotsleep Esports. Nightmare Esports are kind of exploring their options right now,
Mhm.
going around the map, checking to see if they can have a good pick up. And here it goes. Ramela getting hit by the blazing duet as Kami will secure that kill. Retaliation comes through by Idonoslip Esports, but I don't think they should be continuing to do this. Well, Son of Pat
Yep.
is almost immortal. He's just buying some time, distracting the members of Nightmare
Oh, they
Esports, and
go
is
all the way to the
even dealing a
base.
lot of damage onto Kami. Will secure the kill by Zanri and just trade it out with the roaming support. So now it's a 1-for-1 trade, might even be a 2-for-1, but the fatal links though will connect, and that will be a good kill coming in
Gunning
from
light from
Nightmare
the
Esports, but
backside.
you have to consider here comes Ramela and Zanri just zoning them out. So extended team fight still going quite well here for Idonoslip Esports.
You know what, Gigi? Here's the thing about Romella. She doesn't really need to go in for the clashes. Just look at how
Just
far she
ulti.
is from every single clash. She's just waiting for Lois, waiting for Zari to go in for the engage. Okay, someone's low HP. Okay, let's pop in that Dawning Light. Let's pop in some kill steals there. And it's pretty much working for the type of composition, right? Nightmare Esports, again, is that type of composition where if you get the combos right, it works. If you don't get it right or you miss out on a combo, you pretty much have to disengage, especially since if everyone is low HP, which is kind of where Ramilla is being put in play here, right? You can kind of see
Mhm.
how Kami was going for Ramella because pretty much she was kind of untouchable earlier on. 004 on that Savior, and right now it is a possible Lord Dance from these two teams. It is looking very good here for Nightmare Esports. They kind of have solidified their sort of territory. They have this Lord up for the grabs, but it could be a bait Lord. But here's the thing: IDNS Esports is just waiting for all those ultimates from Nightmare Esports to be popped up, and right after that, they just go in for the isolations. They go in for the pickoffs that they want onto Cammy, onto Soul, and right after that, it is over for Nightmare Esports. After the combos are done, it is pretty much a one-trick pony here for Nightmare Esports.
Yeah, Nightmare Esports has to rely on that setup by Nanoship and the
Exactly.
blazing duet by Kami, followed up by the ulti hit there by Jasmine. But if they miss their ticket, if they miss their shot,
Just like
just
that.
like that, things are
Just like
gonna
that.
go to south. Lois picks up the kill. Now, numbers advantage for Idonoslep Esports. They're gonna be able to secure this Lord. Might be contested, but I don't think Nightmare Esports
It'll be
should
extra
even
harder.
try. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
it's extra
gonna
harder.
risk.
They don't have the initiator here. I mean, it's only Jasmine with the falling star move, right? I mean,
Yep.
it is not as effective as the fatal links here of the Atlas that can slow you down. They can even stun you at any given moment. And right after that, I think the call there for IDNS Esports was just to take down Nanoship. Right after that, it is much easier to deal with the rest of the team. There is no one to dish out that combo. They got in this first Lord, but it's pretty much a great advantage for them to push in the lanes. What I mentioned earlier about IDNS was to isolate. Now they have to do in those split pushes. They got Izzy, they got Sanumpak here just to isolate the members of Nightmare Esports one by one, and they can go in for the pushes. They got the Lord advantage right now, but Nightmare Esports, they can't afford to split up right now. They are banking on the composition that is built to be like a wombo combo. But right now,
Mhm.
they have to sustain in their lanes. The Lord is now pushing in the top side.
Yeah, but Idonotsleep Esports are scattered across the map. There's a push in the
Exactly.
mid, there's push in the bot, and this is where they strive, or at least the composition strives on isolated fights, small skirmishes like this. Because the Nightmare Esports on their team fight based composition, they have to be grouped up. That's their strongest point. When they're isolated, they're at their weakest. And Idonotsleep
Exactly.
Esports knows about this. Slowly squeezing out the life and the base here of Nightmare Esports with 4 structures destroyed comparing to just 1 of Nightmare Esports in the bot lane.
Exactly. And here's the thing, right? It's kind of makes sense why they picked up the Matilda. The Matilda can give you an easy way out of the clashes that you don't want to be in, which pretty much counters out what Nightmare Esports has, right? Let's go in for the clashes. Let's do it. That their composition is built on that. But right after that, right? You got the Matilda with the guiding wind just to guide you to safety here. And right after that, you also got Sun Pack that has been pretty much solidifying the side lanes here of IDNS Esports, just constantly pressuring in all the lanes before Nightmare Esports can concoct a plan to perhaps like go in for the engage. Most of the time, look at that. It's like 4 members of Nightmare Esports rotating. The only member that can actually afford to do the split pushes is pretty much Jasmine, right? He is the only tanky one here. Can go in for the split pushes, can go in for the wave clear. Pretty much like Sun Pack is just not letting go of that top lane. Not just Sun Pack, pretty much Lois also is constantly pressuring in all the lanes. And all the other members here like Ramela and even Izzy, what they need to do is just dish out the damage, especially Ramela. She just has to stay onto the backlines, pop in that dawning light, chunking everyone to 1/4 HP. And I believe she has already secured a sufficient amount of items to be able to dish
Mhm.
out that damage.
And one of the problems of Nightmare Esports as well is Izzy, because it's hard to set up as an Atlas when there is a Popolin Koopa that has that single target CC that just can stop that engage. He has to rely on going in with the flicker and timing it picture perfectly in order for Nightmare Esports to win a team fight. But it's gonna be extra challenging to do that due to the fact that Idonotsleep Esports are just isolating them, being scattered all
just
over the
like
map,
this.
trying to go with the side lanes, making sure that okay, we have to do duels on the side lanes
Mhm.
and group up as 3 in the mid lane. Make sure to get enough vision, especially out of nano ship, so that they can just pretty much bounce them off and shove them away from objectives. This Lord is already an upgraded one, so it will charge onto the turret, and I think Nightmare Esports don't want that to happen. So Jasmine has a huge responsibility in split pushing as well, while Son of Pack is
And
gonna
then
be struggling a little bit.
exactly. I was kind of pointing this out. The only one who can do the split pushes is Jasmine. I mean, Jasmine, I've seen Jasmine on a Uranus. Crazy diversion plays that he has been doing up against the team. So I think right now it is a Lord contest for these two teams. But again, pretty much the bot side has been taken
Oh,
down.
here it
Two towers
goes.
already down. Here comes the possible combo that they are waiting for. And in an instant, they get obliterated. Lois also gets taken down with an abyssal arrow. Pretty much, it is a combo that they were wishing to see earlier on,
Yeah.
and now it kind of bites back IDNS Esports with that composition that they want. Definitely a win there by Nightmare Esports. And after the pick off onto Lois, it is going to be a free lord for the side of Nightmare Esports. A beautifully played. It is a one-trick pony, but this time it worked so well. Here comes Son of Pak going in for the split. But unfortunately, it was Soul that he was able to get. But now Kami is on a killing spree, taking down Matilda. And now
Oh.
Sun Pak doing his very best to actually contest for this Lord. But I think it is going to Nightmare Esports, ultimately being punished at that. Now Nightmare Esports, they are looking to go and counter out what IDNS Esports has been doing so far.
Yeah, and this is gonna be scary. Nightmare Esports so far has caught up and even went ahead in terms of gold down only because of that gank in the top lane. Kudos to Nano Ship making the picture perfect play that we have been talking about earlier, and them securing the Lord and even picking up a few kills in the process. Now, with the death timers a little bit scattered on the side of Idonotsleep Esports and the waves crashing, their area coverage is getting closer as well. It's being reduced, and Nightmare Esports in this tight space scenarios, this is where they strive. They can go in with the setup once again by Nanoship and win another team fight. Jasmine is so hard to kill right now because of all the
Yeah,
shields and pretty much is
exactly. He is
unstoppable
having a
1v1.
fantastic time with this Esmeralda. I was gonna say this can isolate definitely. It is going to group up IDNS Esports. You have to
Here they
take
go,
down this Lord.
Nanoship.
It could be a possible Fatal Links combo once again coming in from Nanoship. Izzy gets caught in the midst of all. Zyri goes down. Ramela and Sunumpak left to go. Lois doing his very best to evade, but here comes the Lord that they need to melt down. But Nightmare Esports goes all the way in. The Lord is now knocking in the base, and this could potentially be a comeback from Nightmare Esports as they take down the base with a reverse sweep up against IDNS Esports from Thailand. And GG, like what I mentioned, it is a high risk, high reward type of composition for Nightmare Esports. And they were able to find an opening. They were able to find in that groove that they needed with the pick off on the top side. And eventually that just led them to get the Lord.
Yep. Imagine the struggle that Nightmare Esports experience during the mid game, because early game they got it right. They got
Yes.
the bullying towards Lois, especially after them being able to steal out the purple buff and the Little Wonder. So it was a good start by them. Unfortunately, power spikes came up, and I Don't Sleep Esports got the items that they did need for that mid game, early to mid game, and they basically dictated the flow of the game because they had the advantage on the isolated fights. They can isolate the members as well, and pretty much divide and conquer suits them. So it was a struggle for Nightmare Esports already, but after that one fight, one gank in the top lane, initiated by Nanoship, it led for them having that full confidence, transitioning into a Lord, transitioning into a couple of kills, and them having the opportunity to run down mid and even in the bottom, set up once again with the Fatal Links to end that game number one. So I don't know, Sleep Esports getting defeated. I think this is a bit of a mistake. You know, it is Nightmare Esports that has won game number one.
Yeah, it is Nightmare Esports that gets in the victory for this first game with a very cleanly executed team fight. That was what they were waiting for the entire game, actually. They had a great start, eventually falling, like what you mentioned, falling to the isolate, divide, and conquer type of composition that IDNS Esports went for. But ultimately, after, like what I mentioned, one trick pony, if you get it right, high risk, high reward, and definitely they are reaping the rewards right now by getting in that sweet, sweet victory that they want. One more game to seal the deal. We will be able to find out who is going to be winning this one. This is actually a match point for Nightmare Esports. If
Yeah.
they secure this next game, they will automatically face Team Vietnam, who is already waiting at the top bracket or the upper bracket. But unfortunately, the one who will be losing this particular match will be, it's not the end of the road for them, but they will be facing IDNS Prince. So is it going to be their brother from Thailand that they will be going head to head once again in the brackets? Or will it be a new team? Will it be Nightmare Esports that they will be facing in the lower brackets? Ultimately, we'll find out in this next game, game number two, which is the deciding game right now for Nightmare Esports.
Yeah. So far, you know, this. Well, I would say the draft of I Don't Sleep Esports went well as well. It was a good composition that they have made, good execution. However, we have to take note that they don't have that's hyper carry scaling marksman, just
Right.
like what usually is picked up here by Nightmare Esports, like the Claude that struggles in the early game but excels significantly in the late game. And I think that's something that they kind of failed to execute, closing it out early on. And Nightmare Esports, when they got to their power spikes pretty much in the late game, that's when they got their confidence, especially after those ganks. High respect onto Nanoship. Definitely is one of, well, he's not the MVP of the match, but those fights were were won because of him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. IRNS Esports, Divide and Conquer, Nightmare Esports would have one team fight eccentric type of clash was able to win them the victory for game number one, and now it is the match point between these two teams. Again, Nightmare Esports is that type of team that you don't really know what they can pick out. These two teams again in for the full engaged, full aggressive side. We've already kind of saw a glimpse of that earlier on. It was pretty much a back and forth game, and now IDNS Esports and Nightmare Esports, I think there was no particular hero that had like a massive impact. But I think for the most part, these two
Among the
teams will
planes
definitely,
exists the
once again,
equilibrium,
it is going to be
which
the
I
Eve
was
taken
meant
out, which
for.
seems to be a hero that both team uses, as well as the Valentina band that came
Mm-hmm.
through here for Nightmare Esports, especially since IDNS Esports has the choice of getting the first pick here for game number two.
I like how, Idonotsleep Esports again, they are having a struggle during the first game, but I think this time they would be able to have a better standing against Nightmare Esports. Paying the respect on the scaling heroes is a big thing, especially if you want to excel in the early game, especially with the lineup that they have picked up during their first game. And you have to take note, Nano Ship again, take out the Franco, take out the Hilda, or maybe just leave it out open since Sanumpak is also here. He can
Sir,
pick up
what's your command?
the Hilda for the team.
Yeah, the Fanny, again, a consistent ban here. You don't want to be going up against Loisa's Fanny. Immense early game pressure. Can also do like tanks in the late game. So I think pretty much you don't want to give Joe the Fanny. It is so difficult to deal with, especially if you don't have pretty much crowd control heroes that can take care of it. I'm thinking perhaps an assassin ban or perhaps like a jungler ban could come through once again for Nightmare Esports here. The Ling, which we saw earlier, and now IDNS has the last ban here. Is it going to be Nanoship's heroes once again? We've seen Nanoship on different types of heroes. The Hilda was open, the Grak was open. Not unless they don't, these are the types of heroes that you don't want to give to Nanoship. Earlier on, despite the fact that it wasn't the Hilda, it wasn't these high impact heroes, they just, pretty much still made it work for their composition. It is going to be the savior ban that comes through, especially since it might not be a repeat pick once again here for IDNS Esports. Nightmare Esports here. Final ban, I'm thinking it could be against either Ramela or maybe perhaps even Loisa's heroes. I mean, this seems to be the way that Nightmare Esports goes. Since IDNS, if they see an opening to
This
get
a
Loisa's
link?
comfort picks, they definitely will do it. Yeah, it could be a link ban here once again for
Uh-huh.
Nightmare Esports. We've seen actually both
My
teams, I think,
pleasure.
for Nightmare Esports also they could pick up the link. The Karina that was utilized by IDNS earlier was pretty much a game changer. But the Grak, I did mention that it could have been the ban, which means that IDNS Esports wanted to secure it for
Oh, wait.
themselves. The link,
Hmm.
yeah, I mentioned that this could be an opening, like it could have gone like IDNS picks up the lane, but they prioritized the Grak of Sanumpak, which pretty much is a little Grak as
And
well.
the
It's an
Angel.
Angela combo. Yeah,
Oh.
I've seen an Angela band come through up against Nightmare Esports. It kind of makes sense, especially if you are as versatile as Too Easy for Lexi. You pretty much use all of these high mobile heroes like the Link and gank in all the lanes. With the help of the Angela, it is going to make it very much easier to get in the pickouts that they want. So will IDNS Esports go for those types of heroes that are a little bit more mobile, considering that there is a Link threat right now from Nightmare Esports?
I wonder what the Idonotsleep Esports are going to be pairing up this Grok with. I like how
Lilia,
they're
perhaps,
investing
for
on
Ramela?
a scaling marksman like
Lilia,
the
there you go.
and
Yeah, the
Ramela
Lilia
has a
ban.
good experience on this particular hero already during their match against IDNS Prince. So good pick off here. Good set. Good three picks here by Idonotsleep Esports so far. Nightmare Esports still has no marksman, and I think the 1-1 might be a good pick here.
Yeah, the 1-1
especially
would be a great pick. Yeah, up against the Beatrix, this is going to be a field day for Nightmare Esports, especially if they pick up that 1-1, which could be banned out, by the way, in the second phase for Nightmare Esports. It's going to be a Sicilian that comes through. It is pretty much like that. Okay, you take out the threat of Lois. It is going to matter what type of hero Lois will pick up, right? So without so much threat, they already got the Ling. They also took out two of Lois's heroes here, which is a Fanny and the Karina. It's pretty much safe to pick up that Sicilian. You have the scaling immediately already going to Nightmare Esports. So
Yeah.
pretty much, I would say they got it covered in the early game. They also pretty much have it secured as well in the late game for Nightmare Esports. The Paquito ban coming through. Okay, this is targeted at Lois. Nightmare Esports pretty much wants to give Lois or to bring Lois to bring out something new, right? Lois pretty much Fanny has used the Paquito as well. So I'm thinking this is Nightmare Esports targeting the bans of against Lois. And now the Wan I did we did mention it, right? It is going to be a field day for the Wan. It is smart choice for IDNS Esports to take that out. And now it is not unless they want to take out like a Hayabusa, which I've seen Lois use as well. So will that be the route, like just taking out Lois's hero? Yeah, it is going to be Lois's heroes taken out completely for all these four bands: the Fanny, the Karina, the Paquito, and the Hellcurt. So now
And they
what's
took
left
out the
for
Ling
Lois?
as well.
Yeah, they also pick up the link for themselves. So it is pretty much a wise decision. Now, IDNS Esports is going to be picking up or taking out perhaps more or less Kami's hero. So Kami now can pretty much go for the late game burst as well. If you want to go up against a Beatrix, perhaps like maybe a classic Clint. You can go for a Clint, you can go for a Brody. But in terms of the range, in terms of like matchup, I would say if you want an even ball game, you go for the Clint, right? You go for a Clint for if you're going up against a Beatrix. Now the biggest thing here is they can pretty much pick up what they want. They already took out the huge threat here, which is Lois, right? So you can pick up those heroes that will scale up pretty well. So either I'm thinking the Clint or the Brody pick can come through here for Nightmare Esports.
Wondering what they are gonna be picking up. I don't think they're gonna be picking up the marksman just yet. Yeah, the
Not
coming
just
back
yet.
frontline
They're
is gonna be
waiting for
better.
Lois.
Like,
They are waiting for
Ling
Lois.
as their frontline plus an Angela. Huge amount of sustain coming in from Nightmare Esports. And Idonotsleep Esports now going with the Lancelot. I think this is gonna be a good job by them. Good access on the backline here of Nightmare Esports.
Exactly.
Especially the burst potential of both the Lilia and the Lancelot. So Izzy is gonna have a definitely gonna have a good time last hitting for the team because he's the one that will deal significant amount of consistent DPS later. But in terms of of burst, Ramela and Lois, they're gonna deal lots.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of early game pressure for IDNS Esports, considering their mid laner needs some time to scale up, right? So now it is pretty much kind of impossible to pick up once again the Claude, especially if you are going up against IDNS Esports that has this early type of composition. And will Nightmare Esports kind of shake this up? Okay, they are solely going for the solid sides, considering how early IDNS Esports can rotate with the Scrock, can rotate with the Lancelot as well. So they are going to be putting a Yuzong on the gold lane. A gold lane Yuzong is not something new. I've seen this already. It pretty much solidifies the side. It is great to go up against a Beatrix in the early game. So it is solid sides. It pretty much so on the scaling type of composition here. So it is going to matter the early rotations, but I'm going to be expecting the early game advantage going to IDNS Esports.
Yeah, take note that IDNS also has the Hilda, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
pretty much like
big
a Franco,
problem.
right?
Mhm.
It's like a Franco. It has the same feels as a Jawhead that just throws your buff. I
Yep.
think it's pretty much the same type of feel, but I think it is more difficult to deal with the Hilda right now. It has the dash, it has the sprint as well, it has massive damage. So
And
I
shield.
think yeah, it is going to matter, right? How Hilda is going to rotate right now for IDNS Esports, especially since you're going up against a Ling and your tank support is an Angela, and you got a mid lane Cecilia, so you can definitely pressure that purple buff. But I think Nightmare Esports knows that very well. Look at Zanri already positioning himself in that side, but he kind of knows that it is going to be too
Oh.
easy for Lexi starting on that red buff. Look at
Yeah.
the aggression right now. Look at the damage, but here comes the healing from Nano Ship as well. They are forced to use in the retribution, but really, this is so slithery of Zen to do that. It's just constant pressure. But again, here comes the codes. Be sure to screen cap that. Be sure to take it for yourselves. We are giving out a lot of
modes away for you guys today for the entire playoffs, but it is so wise. Like what I mentioned, this is early game pressure for the side of IDNS Esports, going as far as
Oh,
taking in that purple buff, which is quite vital for Too Easy for Lexi.
yeah.
They are able to secure it though, but it is not going to be easy for them in the early game. Constant pressure, not just by Zanri, it is also by
Oh
Umpak
wait,
as well
no.
as Ramela.
It's Lois that secured again that purple buff off the Ling, so
Oh,
it's
but,
gonna be a
but
big hassle. You know, denying that regeneration of energy
oh
for
yeah,
Too
it
Easy for
is.
Lexi.
It
Oh,
is. Okay, it was a glitch. I actually saw the there by Lexi, but I think it was yeah, it was the retribution by Loy. So pretty much it is going to make it a bit more difficult here for Nightmare Esports to be able to make in the ganks that they want with this link, especially since your two mid laners are quite squishy at that, the Angela and the Sicilian. But now I think Idonis Esports, what they need to do is the constant pressure that they're giving onto Too Easy for Lexi. So far, there are still no casualties, but pretty much it is kind of wise for Nightmare Esports to actually have that solid side laners. If they go for those side laners that needs time to scale up, it
Zanri.
is going to be difficult. But now Zanri, Too Easy for Lexi, could be the next target here. Look at the damage. They get
Oh,
in the
no
purple buff,
energy.
almost killing or taking down Too Easy for Lexi. But trade-off here for the teams is going to be the turtle take for IDNS Esports. A great start, like what I mentioned, early pressure as well. Tempest of Blades being forced out there by Too Easy for Lexi. Again, Zanri absolutely crazy on this Hilda that has been rotating all around the jungle side of Nightmare Esports.
Yep, and that is the major problem when you pick up a Ling and then there's a Hilda. So there's a bit of a nightmare for Nightmare Esports as Idonotsleep Esports are trying to engage onto them. Jasmine is in a bit of trouble, although he is relatively tanky. He's gonna be able to back away successfully with some health regenning quite constantly. I mean, this is a Uranus, so insane amount of regeneration and insane amount of invade coming in from Zanri. Too easy for Lexi with the help of his allies are gonna try to kill this Hilda, but they're taking a bit of time and Zanri even manages to escape. What was that? Man, I didn't sleep
A lot
esports
of
keeps
ultimates
on
popped up,
interrupting
right?
Too easy for Lexi.
Yeah, that was a lot of ultimates being popped up just to take down Zanri. But Zanri is just so difficult to deal with. You got the movement speed when Hilda is on the bush, and right now the target here. Look at Sun Pak with a nice wild charge, but ultimately after that Guardian's barrier, just taken down instantly by three members here of Nightmare Esports. So now they are kind of answering out to the aggression that IDNS Esports has been showing, but Zanri is just so relentless on the jungle side of Nightmare East. It's kind of like you don't even know when Zanri is gonna pop up, right? It doesn't
Yep.
have the execute, but has the sprint here just to dash away from the potential engage. Heart guard here by Cammy, but Zanri going in for the dives as Cammy will be able to safely evade that one. And now, if you look at the goalie, it seems to be favoring Nightmare Esports right now with the way that Too Easy for Lexi was able to get in a lot of gold plates on the bot side. It did matter, but now Lois looking to equalize that by trying to secure in this turtle, whereas Too Easy for Lexi securing in that purple buff. Zanri once again with constant pressure, giving the vision here for IDNS Esports. But again, this is pretty much like what we predicted,
Oh,
right? Too Easy for Lexi is going to get a lot of pressure in the jungle side. But again, isn't going to matter when it comes to the mid game. I'm pretty sure it is going to be a pretty even ball game right after the aggression. You just have to wait for Soul Soul's power spike, and then it will be pretty much a fair game. Speaking of Soul Soul, does secure in the clock of destiny. A little bit of power spike coming in from the Sicilian. Heart guard
he's
in
gonna
the
deal
nick
a
of
lot of
time.
damage later on. Nightmare Esports is actually doing a really good job despite the bullying there of Zandri and Pak. They're still ahead in terms of gold, 400 to 500 gold lead. And it is so far funneled onto their carries as well. Good job by Jasmine, just continuing to work the bottom lane. He is technically immortal, so he won't be. Ow! Ouch! For Nanoship. That's quite
Oh dear.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it isn't the nano ship that is using the tag gears. You're using an Angel right now. In an instant, obliterated by this lethal Drak of Sun and Pack. Wild charge to the death. And now too easy for Lexi is just having a hard time engaging up against IDNS. Look at the constant pressure by Zanri, not just onto the members here, not just to the jungler, but it is a constant pressure even to the mid laners here. So it is quite difficult, especially that Social needs to stack up very well. It's a good thing that he has the mystery shop. It's quite easier to be able to get in the items. With the constant pressure, if IDNS keeps this up, it could potentially be a game over. But I think Nightmare Esports knowing when to go in for the engage, they know when their power spikes will hit. But right now, it seems to be Nightmare Esports once again still that has the gold lead, despite the fact that Zanri has been constantly pressuring the members here, like too easy for Lexi. He has been doing pretty great, securing in all the resources that they need so far. It's a 1K gold lead for Nightmare Esports.
Yeah, Nightmare Esports know that they can pretty much muscle out Izzy later on, since they have a lot of front lines and they even have an Angela to keep them to sustain them actually. So I did not sleep esports. What they're doing right now is very significant. They should be trying to be more aggressive and be more collective. This is a good thing that they're doing, taking out the turtle, knowing that Too Easy for Lexi will have a difficult time contesting it because of Zanri. But Nightmare Esports to being able to keep up in terms of gold. Later on, like what you said, the power spikes will come in and the team fights will come, especially when the Lord spawns. So that is something that Idonotsleep Esports should prepare on, since so far they haven't gotten enough damage to try and kill Kami and Jasmine. Those are the tanks that you should be looking out for later on. Not only for Zanri, he's not the only tanky person in this game. We have Jasmine as well. But Izzy, with the help of Sun and Pack, will secure one kill under the top lane. Kami's down. They might even be able to secure a tower while the team fight is breaking out in the mid lane as Lois disengages from the fight, respecting Sosol.
Yep, it is kind of wise here for Nanoship. She doesn't have any defensive items just yet. Going for the fleeting time, knowing for a fact that the entire team of Nightmare Esports is going to need the extra help coming in from the Angela. But now Zanri, again, with the constant pressure, needs to be punished, could perhaps be punished here. But look at how fast he goes. Gets
Yeah.
out with the sprint. Look at how fast he's going. It's just insane. And goes in for the push for the region. Again, the early game pressure is still pretty much IDNS Esports that got this. Nice wild charge. And now Lois to the rescue. Jasmine forced to use out that flicker. There is a little bit of regen, but ultimately gets taken down by the puncture. And now Nightmare Esports looking to
Fast
equalize that
rotations.
kill. Fast rotations, and now with this composition, right, of Nightmare Esports, not only can they gank, they can also use this type of composition for split missions.
Yeah. Having Too Easy for Lexi with the link allows them to rotate quite effectively across the map. What they're struggling right now, though, is on the side lanes. We're in Izzy, Sun of Pack, as well as Lois are doing such incredible damage work against their opponent. And I think this is gonna be a challenge for Nightmare Esports in terms of contesting objectives, because the burst is just too much coming from IDNS
Yeah.
Esports. And even Jasmine is starting to struggle keeping up his regeneration and enduring all those damage coming in from IDNS
dear.
Esports.
Look at the damage coming in from Soul. That was just one bat's impact. And speaking
Oh.
of the damage, look at the bat's impact there. But too easy for Lexi was the target there. Zanri and Senompak instantly. These two tanks take down Too Easy for Lexi. And right after that, this is going to be a free lord. The first Luminous Lord, or not yet the Luminous Lord rather, but a lord for the side of IDNS Esports to constantly put in the pressure up against Nightmare Esports. After that Lord has been popped up, it is going to be easier to take in the resources. But if you guys can notice, there is a lot of giveaway codes that's being flashed onto our screens. Be sure to be able to get that and be able to secure all those tournament chests being so full of diamonds right now. Kami doing his very best to zone, doing his very best also to safely save that tower on the top side. Is able to escape, and now Senumpak forced to use out that sprint just to get away. And now the map control is IDNS Esports, but we are sort of seeing power spike coming in from Sosol. I think it was a Clock of Destiny, if I'm not mistaken. He has already secured in the Lightning Truncheon as well. Mystery Shop emblem pretty much helps out the Sicilian to get in the items that he wants. So later on, let's see how this team fight will work out. But pretty much, IDNS Esports, if they can close this out as early as possible, it would be so great for them.
And Jasmine just continues to try and help up the team in terms of guarding a lane, but on the other ones, they are definitely struggling. Soulsol is popping out the ultimate just to help and clear out the wave and allow too easy for Lexi to go back in his jungle, but so far, Idonotsleep Esports are doing a really good job. Xanadu getting caught a little bit there by Jasmine. Consistent
As the hard
DPS,
guard.
and Soul actually picks up the kill. That's fantastic for Niightmare Esports, and Idonotsleep
Oh,
Esports
look at
will need
that.
to, to retreat because too easy for Lexi is split pushing in bot.
Is also the type of composition that not only has the scaling with the Sicilian, but it can also do split pushes. So now, IDNS Esports, they are sort of feeling that power spike. Did you see that one Bat's impact coming in from Soulsol was just enough to take down Zanri in one instant, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's just crazy if you have a Sicilian, the immense damage it has when it has reached that power spike. So I am going to be looking forward to see more of that later on. But Nightmare Esports knows for a fact that this could be the opening that they need. 30 seconds before the next Lord will be up. Let's see what items that Nightmare Esports and IDNS Esports has already secured for this round. But pretty much we can sort of feel it already from Soul, also even from Cammy, and even Too Easy for Lexi.
I'm kind of scared every time Sununpak charges his attack because he deals a lot of damage. A while ago, it was 1,800 damage. I think it's gonna go over 2,000 right now at this point because deals significant ones, and that is gonna scare off Nightmare Esports later on because Idonotsleep Esports has a lot of engage. Take note, they have a lot of engage, and too easy for Lexi is gonna
Oh,
get
there
taken
you go.
down, obliterated in an instant. Nanoship trying to flee, but against Sandri and Sununpak, nah, you won't be able to escape. Right on the other side,
Isolated
though,
clashes.
Cammy and Jasmine doing a really good job killing Izzy, but will fail to kill Lois as well. And Cammy, well, against Xandri, is actually struggling right now. He needs to escape. He's gonna try to bait him under that objective area, but don't think he's gonna get that 1v1. I don't know if esports are
Oh dear.
smarter than that.
It
They're
is-
gonna go for 2 versus
You
1.
see how scary the Hilda is when it's running? It has this huge axe that can just take you down. Look at that. Look at the damage
Boom.
as that Zanri takes down Cammy with no escape, no Black Dragon form. Here's the thing about Nightmare versus competition. Yes, they do have 2 solid sides, but here's the thing: when you have the Angeline combo, you gotta make it work early on. But pretty much Zanri, with the early game pressure that he gave Nightmare Esports, it was pretty much hard to do that type of combo. And right now, Idonos Esports, they are eyeing this Luminous Lord, but look at what Jasmine is doing. In the midst of it all, there is the Heart Guard, and Lois will be able to safely secure the Lord for the team IDNS. And now, the Guardian's Barrier is forcing Soso not to be able to engage into the
Oh,
team fight, but
Jasmine.
Jasmine, as the Heart Guard shuts down Sununpak, 1-2 for none trade here. Still pretty much after the Lord, Nightmare Esports still has an answer. So I think it was right now for the call for our Nightmare Esports is just to make it like play a little bit safe, take down the Lord. They can kind of feel the power spike here of Soulsol just to protect Soulsol. But now they have 2 tanky frontliners. They have to deal with this Lord.
Yep, and we have to deal with the Uranus. He is too tanky right
nice
now.
knock up.
Xandri might actually get taken down here. It's too easy for Lexi. Finally gets a shutdown onto that Hilda as they are
look at the
trying to take
damage.
mid. Oh my, damage is just too much
Massive
coming from Soul.
damage. Yeah,
Insane.
Soul. I want to see the items of Soul here. It's actually curious. I'm guessing he might actually be on his 3rd item. And by the way, he is quite untouchable on the Sicilian. 101 already. It's just a matter of positioning, right? So Athena's shield, speaking of the damage coming in from Soul, Sununpak already respecting it by securing in the Athena shield
Oh.
as well as the immortality here for Jasmine.
I mean, you
just
can't
to
even
make him
kill
a
Jasmine.
dish. extra immortality for this Uranus. How crazy can that get? Speaking of items already, yeah, the Divine Glaive, fourth item, I'm mistaken. So it's the fourth item here for, no, rather fifth item already for Soul. You can feel that power spike. You can get that Divine Glaive for that additional magic penetration as compared to the members here of IDNS Esports. They know that very well. Already two members getting in the Athena Shield as well to counter out the damage of Soul. So now I think for IDNS Esports is the biggest problem here is not too easy for Lexi. It's not Cam. It's not even Jasmine. You got to take down Soul. This is pretty much the type of composition that IDNS Prince went for, right? The solid sides,
Mhm.
and then you got a scaling hero onto the backside, which is kind of untouchable right
And they
now.
got bouncers that can just zone
Yeah.
out everybody. Jasmine is doing such incredible work. You know, he only suffered a casualty on the bot side when he got ganked by 3 people. Anyway, he wasn't that tanky just yet, but now it's we don't even see his HP bar going half as of the moment. And even if it does, you know, Idonotsleep Esports shouldn't be funneling all their damage towards the Uranus because they have to kill Soul, they have to kill Too Easy for Lexi and Cammy. That's their
Yeah.
primary target. But how do you do that when there's this irritating Uranus constantly dealing little but felt damage coming
I
from Nightmare
told you.
Esports?
I told you, right? Jasmine on these heroes that are absolutely annoying that can totally just cause your team to be in a disarray. Do we deal with Jasmine or do we just deal with the rest of Nightmare Esports? So I think it
Oh.
is a great call, but it's a
The
solo
rest.
kill. Rather a two-man taking down Too Easy for Lexi, not exactly having the best time here on this Ling. And right after that kill, NES Esports, they just want to close this as early as possible. They already know that Soul has already reached that power spike. So perhaps right after, if they make this game a little bit long, it is going to favor Nightmare Esports. But now it could be a contest, but the retribution still is on the hands of Nightmare
Oh.
Esports. Nice knock off, and Izzy goes down. It could be another one. Look at how tanky the members here of Nightmare Esports, but under the tower, under all those slows by Ramela, buys
still
him some time,
alive!
and we're not still alive. But I think not for long. There is the heal from Nanoship. Oh my goodness, that was insane. There is the heal. There is the immortality popped up. So it's just pretty much Jasmine invincible under any circumstance. But still, IDNS, you can't deny the fact that they got the Luminous Lord here. So Nightmare Esports still pretty much has to deal with that first.
Yep. And one of the reasons why Jasmine is so tanky is because Nanoship uses the ultimate onto him as well, enabling him and also dealing those slows towards enemy targets, closing the distance, or at least helping him close the distance even better. But this Lord is going to charge into the base and will deal a significant amount of damage towards the tower. Jasmine is serving as a front line once again with the
Again,
help
right?
of a Nanoship too.
Oh
And
my goodness,
Ramela might actually
Nanoship!
get taken
Yep,
down. Pops out
boys.
the
Already knowing the
immortality,
problem there.
only to fall down once again. Sun on back again. Look at Jasmine! He is just immortal at this point.
He is an immortal guardian. So
He's
pretty much he is just
scared.
going crazy on that. Look at that. In the middle of it all, he doesn't even care if this is like 3 members, 3 tanks trying to take him down. He could get punished. There is the region here. There is also the hard card. And he still escapes. That is so annoying. You think that you can kind of get him. It's pretty much still Jasmine. Look at the immense heal. I'm not so sure. Yeah, I mean, there's only Dominance Eyes being purchased here, so I'm not so sure if Ramela has already secured in the Necklace of Durans. Look at also, here comes Soul. There is the immortality being popped up, and this is what they want, the late game power spike that they are waiting for. Lois is also forced to back away, but Zenri in an instant. 2 members left to defend here. This could be more towers being taken down by Nightmare Esports. The early game that they didn't have, they are sort of getting that power spike already in the 20-minute mark. All the towers down, pretty much equalizing the gold lead, or rather, they already have the gold lead right now for Nightmare Esports. 4K gold lead in an instant.
Oh my. Jasmine and Nanoship
No, it's Jasmine and
combination.
Nanoship, right?
I wanna
You
buy
think it's
a
only
Uranus.
Nanoship, right? Yeah, you want to buy Uranus after this, right? I can kind
Yep.
of play the Angela and we'll be invincible, right? With the right
Yep.
timing. I think it's also
It's-
key here
and
that
support
Nanoship
emblem.
pops in that hard card at the very moment that Jasmine needs it the most. Look look at that. It's just Jasmine going through every single bush. It's sort of like also giving vision here to Nightmare Esports. So pretty much, I think IDNS knows this very well. Let's let Jasmine be. He's just creating commotion here. It doesn't even matter. Look at that. He's just taking all the damage despite Zari just hitting them. It's just giving Jasmine so much stacks. He's just maintaining it, and I think with the right amount of scaling here. But too
Easy
easy
for
for Lexi. Tempest of Blades almost getting sent on back, but here comes a bad impact as well from Soso onto the backside. Jasmine in the midst of it all. There is no hard guard. They are forced to disengage. But now IDNS Esports again. This is pretty much a mirror of what they had in the first game. It's pretty
Not
much
so sure
Nightmare
about
Esports
this.
that was having a hard time in the earlier game or the earlier stages of the game. Now,
This
this
is
is the
crucial.
Lord Dance GG. This could be massive, especially for IDNS
Oh,
Esports.
Jasmine is dead. That is huge.
Yeah,
This is why
they're-
I was kind of hesitant on this.
But
Lord thing
again,
because-
Lois! Oh, God, Lois, you take it down, but they get the Lord right after. But the killing spree by Soul, but this could be a potential wipeout. They get in the Lord Sun Unpack is in the midst of it all. There is the immortality. There is also everyone there from Nightmare Esports
they go
taking them
in?
down. Ramela and Zanri left to engage. But look at the hard card. It is just kind of like pretty much already there in an instant. Zanri, there is the slows also. There is the burst damage from Soul. Takes down one. It's only Ramela left to defend. They have to take care of the sword. It's a good thing that Lloyd is able to get it. Too easy for Lexi. Ramela doing her very best. It's still not over for IDNS Esports. It is a good thing that Lois was able to secure it, but this
But
game
I think
is
they can still
pretty
end.
much it can still end if they take down Ramela! And it's a great mega kill, and it's again an epic comeback coming in from Nightmare Esports as they take the series with a 2-0 up against IDNS Esports of Thailand. Oh my goodness, GG.
That was insane.
I told you, Jasmine is just crazy on this region. Heroes, and
Crazy.
Uranus is
Crazy.
one of them. Okay, this crazy, crazy place. I think the thing here was patience is the key for Nightmare Esports to be able to win that one. Pretty much, the burst damage was just real from Soul in that last match, and I think I didn't see Esports like what I mentioned. You could see the factor wherein they really wanted to secure in the game as early as possible.
They could have, they tried. However, you know, Jasmine already started to be irritating towards Idonotsleep Esports because of the healing and the split push. He did it from the very beginning, split pushing all throughout, just scaling so that he can get his item and up his regeneration and durability. With the help of Nano Ship, he had a much better time sustaining himself. And during the past team fight, before that last one, actually, all the attention was on Jasmine along with Too Easy for Lexi. They've kind of forgot about So.
Jasmine,
So during the
there you
last
go.
fight,
I told you. Oh, yeah, that's a very wise choice of itemization. I did not see this earlier on. I only saw the immortality being purchased, but the brute force breastplate is just pretty much countering out all the heroes here of IDNS. Pretty much a lot of these heroes have basic attacks. Izzy, Lois, even Zanri. So the brute force breastplate and the oracle just makes pretty much Jasmine so immortal here, and not to mention the slows. Oh, and the burns also coming in from Nano Ship. So wise itemization from the Nano Ship Jasmine combo, right? So we were expecting too easy for Lexi and Nano Ship, but it was pretty much Jasmine and Jasmine and
Nano
Nano
Ship.
Ship's game. Yeah, insane place.
The
Waiting.
Angeling, no, it's the
Nope.
it's the Angela and the Uranus
Yeah.
combination.
You know
right
that
now.
meme? You know that meme where you're like Angeling?
No,
It's
no.
Angie Uranus. It's the Angie
Yeah.
Uranus. Yeah, it's the
That's
Angie
the better
Uranus.
one.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
the
Angie
better
Uranus
one.
for this one. Mm. Wow,
Fantastic.
it's GG. This day is a day about like clean sweeps, right? Clean sweep from Team Vietnam and a clean sweep as well for the team of Nightmare Esports. So it is, if we kind of look at the updated bracket, so it's going to be IDNS Prince up against their brothers from Thailand. Once again, they face each other in the bracket. It's going to be them for day number 2, which will be happening tomorrow, followed by, of course, the upper bracket, which is going to be Team Vietnam and Nightmare Esports that will go head to head. Again, it's pretty much the same format, a best
out of three double elimination type of matchup. So tomorrow we will unfortunately be seeing one team say goodbye to the MSC Mekong qualifiers. Again, for tomorrow, aside from the matches, you also can expect a lot of codes. We've generated it all throughout this live stream. So watch out for more of those tournament chests tomorrow. And the highest one, again, that we will be giving away is a tournament chest level 8 worth 1,099 diamonds. This is Burger Kim and GG, your shoutcasters at your service. We'll be back tomorrow once again. Same time, same place. So see you guys again for the MSC Mekong qualifies. For now, we bid goodbye. See you again tomorrow.